The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a good start to their weekend. See, here's the thing. I didn't realize this until 30 seconds ago when I heard Kyle's Remember That for today. I think we might disagree a good amount during today's show. So, everybody strap in. This should be a fun one. We'll get to some Lions OTAs stories a little bit later on, what we learned about the Lions' first day back together. There were some leaked new helmets. We'll get to stocks. We'll get to around the league, of course. I do want to start out with this Detroit Tigers team because, boy, oh boy, if they hadn't hit rock bottom already, well, then look around because they're there now. Over the last 6 games, they have played the Angels and the White Sox, 2 notoriously just god-awful franchises. In the case of the Angels, well, what was formerly the worst team in the American League, that now belongs to the Detroit Tigers. Over those 6 games, 1-5. 1-5, guys. This is rock bottom. It's not going to get worse than this. And I am sorry for selling any of our listeners false hope about this team because, boy, I did it. I was not ready to just throw in the towel on the season. I was ready to not just chalk it up to injuries, but, hey, there's players that are coming back. Gary Carpenter, Gleyber Torres, Javi Baez. This is going to look a heck of a lot different sooner rather than later. They're having the season from hell. Casey Mize, gone. Back to the IL. Kenley Jansen, gone. To the IL. Will Vest, terrible. Keider Montero, who's pitching very well, not good enough to stay in the game, but pitching very well, is the Tigers' best guy in the rotation right now, someone who didn't even start this season in the rotation. No Verlander, no Skubal. Flaherty's not even an existing human anymore at this point. This team's not good. You got Ty Madden. You got Troy Melton, who's been pretty good. This is a god-awful baseball team. Period. Hitting, pitching, bullpen, managerial. It's a bad baseball team. And over the last 6 days, it feels like they have hit a new level of rock bottom. They have 4 wins in their last 25 games, ladies and gents. 4 wins. And eventually you get to a point where if you really want to, you can say, well, I'm just chalking this up to the season from hell. I don't think that can happen when, it'd be one thing if they were 500. 500 would have been disappointing, guys. They're the worst team in the American League. No one in a million years, even on the worst case scenario, would have predicted that this is how the season was going to go. So not only you're at rock bottom, not only has this season gone worse than the worst case scenario, you're looking around right now, and let's just put aside all the Tarek Skubal, you might lose your best player situation. It doesn't even feel like AJ Hinch is trying to win games anymore. Y'all remember Monty Williams, right? Coached the Pistons for one season and got let go because there were legitimate reporters who were in the building every day who were under the belief, not just this is what I think. I mean, he was telling it right to our faces. There was people that legitimately believed, myself included, that Monty Williams, once he signed his contract, was attempting to be fired because he no longer wanted to be coaching in the NBA. And look what's happened since he did get fired. He is effed off to God knows where and is coaching some AAU team somewhere in the country. I don't know where. But he's not in the NBA circle. You know what that tells me? All the people that thought Monty Williams was intentionally trying to be fired, they were right. And he stole $70 million from Tom Gores. They were right. He's not even attempted to come back to the NBA. They were right. He was doing things that only someone trying to intentionally be fired was going to do. Hey, I'm not going to play an all-bench lineup in the first quarter. 24 hours later, he does it 5 minutes into the game. That was the stuff. Hey, do you think you're going to stagger Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Oh, look at that. They're both out at the first media timeout. After just, in a way, ruining Jaden Ivey's career. He was trying to be fired. And now I look at AJ Hinch and what happened yesterday specifically. And there's a handful of other games we can look at too. But I look at what happened yesterday. We all know the Tigers bullpen suffers, right? Because 2 days ago, look at that. Drew Anderson, walk-off home run. So what does AJ Hinch do when Keider Montero has thrown 65 pitches and has only had 2 hits allowed? Well, he takes him out of the game. I'm sorry, Kyle. I know that you're going to chalk this up to there's not a whole lot. You can't point at A.J. Hinch for all the runners and scoring position stuff, the poor performances on offense, the fact that all these injuries have happened. What sort of justification is there for taking out Keider Montero yesterday after 65 pitches with how well he was pitching? A.J. Hinch says, well, Drew Anderson has been pretty damn good against lefties this year. Fact check. Drew Anderson has been fine against lefties. He's been god-awful against the righties, so his numbers look a little bit better versus lefties. And by the way, Keider Montero's numbers against lefties, also pretty damn good. Essentially identical to what Drew Anderson's numbers are. Drew Anderson comes in and instantly blows the game. I can't and will not understand any sort of reasoning for that decision yesterday. I also do not understand any further pinch hitting a guy like Kerry Carpenter for Jahmai Jones, who is one of the worst OPSs in baseball. I'm all set there, guys. A.J. Hinch every day goes to that podium and just kind of, you don't feel like he is upset about anything. He checks in Will Vest. Oh, Will Vest is terrible. Oh, I think Will Vest is our guy. You let him out there for 34 pitches. You don't think that's going to be a little bit too much? No, I think he's built for that moment. Really? Because he's been terrible this year. I can't fathom what I'm about to say because I've always been an A.J. Hinch supporter. I thought this guy had a baseball brain that was just bigger than anybody else's. I don't think that's true anymore. And if it is, he doesn't want to do it in Detroit. That's the message I've gotten from A.J. Hinch in a season in which, let's check the last 25 games again, 4 wins, 4-21. I think A.J. Hinch recognizes the lack of talent on this roster and on this team and in this organization. And maybe he doesn't want to just hang it up and be done managing, coaching baseball forever. But what has become pretty clear is A.J. Hinch is not all that interested in this season. Not all that interested in winning baseball games right now. Because all that big brain stuff that you typically see from him, it's just not happening, by the way. He's terrible with the challenges, less than 50% hit rate. When checked Steven Votes out of curiosity, 58. He doesn't win games at the end of the day. No division banners, no AL pennants, nothing. Do you know what A.J. Hinch's record as the Tigers manager is? It's 416 and 154. 416 and 154. Yes, he took over a terrible organization.
Say that record again?
416 and 454. Okay. What did I say the first time?
You said 154. I'm
sorry.
Like, holy crap, that's pretty good.
So they are significantly under 500 with A.J. Hinch. And by the way, the last calendar year, not this season, calendar year, this Tigers team is 68 and 90. It doesn't feel like A.J. Hinch wants to be there anymore, Kyle. It really doesn't. And I'd be shocked if he made it past this season at this point. At this rate, where they're on pace to win 60 games, yeah, something's got to happen.
Okay, first I just want to say, we do not disagree. Like, it's pretty hard for me to sit here and, like, defend A.J. Hinch and say that, oh, he's making the right moves. Like, I'm certainly not doing that. My only stance is that I don't think he is the number one source of blame for why the Tigers are just a terrible team. Mm-hmm. I think the roster construction right now and the roster, not that even just the construction, but the roster they are putting out on a game-to-game basis is why they are the worst team in May. And I have some fun May stuff to tell you as well. But I do think that when you say, like, I think he's checked out and comparing him to Monty Williams, okay, that seems a little harsh on A.J. Hinch. If he's checked out and, like, wants to lose, wouldn't he be doing the exact opposite than what he's doing? Because A.J. Hinch always makes I'm going to take Keider Montero out early. I'm going to pinch hit for Kerry Carpenter, even though it's his first game back from IL, and we're putting in Jahmai Jones, that's an under 500 OPS guy for him. But this is what I always do. I'm trying to get us in spots to win games. Like, he's doing that. If he wasn't doing that stuff, if he just said, screw it, we're going to keep Montero in the rest of the game, I don't care. I don't care anymore. We're just going to put him in. Who cares? That's what I think would be if he didn't care.
That would be almost
right.
That would be too blatant, though. That's a situation where Keider Montero's out there with 120 pitches. Yeah, that's like a fired overnight type of thing, and then he might not get
Wouldn't
another
that be
job.
It though? Like if you were trying to get fired,
then you might not be able to manage again. If other teams see what you're doing.
Sure.
You kind of have to stay true to your colors in a little bit if you want to continue managing in baseball.
And I will say, like, I'm gonna do a little bit of AJ Hinch defending here. Kiter Montero this year, when he has gone into the 7th inning, has been terrible. In the 7th inning this year, in just 5 batters faced, he has a 27 ERA, no strikeouts.
How many times did he go into the 7th inning with 65 pitches, though?
Probably none.
That's the difference.
He's only done it in 5 games this or 3 games this year. That was his 3rd game of the year that he's gone into the 7th.
He was cruising yesterday.
I agree.
Cruising.
Yeah, I'm with you.
For Drew Anderson, who checks notes the day before, gave up a walk-off home run. Oh, look what happens when we put in Drew Anderson. Game is blown once again, which essentially happens every time Drew Anderson gets put into the game. I don't understand the reasoning for that.
Yeah.
I don't understand the reasoning for taking Kerry Carter. I mean, this is something that Tigers fans have been asking for a long time. And it's one thing when last year Jahmai Jones has 800-plus OPS, right, versus the right-handed or versus left-handed pitching. That hasn't been the case this year, even a little bit. So what's the justification for continuing to roll a guy like that out there? I don't see one. I really don't. If you've got one, if one of our listeners has one, let me know, because I don't understand that from AJ Hinch anymore. And this guy feels about as checked out as you can possibly be as a big leagues manager. So here's my question. Should the Tigers be moving on from AJ Hinch sooner rather than later? This has been one of the most disappointing seasons we've had in Detroit sports in a long time. Like, think about this versus the Lions missing the playoffs last year. That was disappointing considering what we thought going into the year. But you know what? They weren't the worst team in the NFC. They weren't the worst team in the NFC. This Tigers team is. I'm not usually someone who's like, well, when something goes wrong, somebody's got to be fired, because grass isn't always greener on the other side. But here's the situation that the Tigers are in. Their over-under on the season was 87 wins. They might not crack 60 at this rate if they keep playing. Okay, when it's that short of the line and the expectation, yeah, somebody's got to go. And right now, I think the fall guys pretty much has to be AJ Hinch, because I don't think Scott Harris is going anywhere anytime soon. AJ Hinch, on the other hand, it almost feels as if he's asking to be let go. That is the sense I get from Hinch at this moment in time. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. The 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. And we talk about the game plan on this show all the time, the execution of it. Tigers game plan, lose. Regarding Iron Stack Technology, that's exactly how they approach IT. They want to help your businesses continue to run smoothly so you can focus on what you do best. That is Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
So, to put it quite simply, why is AJ Hinch still here? And it's not a trick question. I'll just throw this to you right now, Kyle. It's not a trick question, but why is AJ Hinch still the manager of the Detroit Tigers when you look at teams around the league, like the Phillies, like the Mets, who you look around and after god-awful starts, disappointing starts, they let their managers go. And in the case of the Phillies, they were able to bounce back. Like it was a spark for that roster. The Tigers have been more disappointing than anybody. And right now, there's not really a sign that AJ Hinch is going to be let go.
Well, to be fair, the Mendoza is still the manager of the Mets. It was really just the Phillies one that has been made.
There's a second one. Am I crazy? I thought there was a second one. Never mind. There's only one.
There could be a second one. But yeah, I mean, it's gotten so bad, and I think like we had talked about this when they first started going on their streak. Like as far as AJ Hinch's managing style is built for a good roster. You know, the tinker moves and making the right decisions with pinch hitters and depth. It works when you have a good roster with depth, and you have not just on offense but in the bullpen as well. And I think that those are all fair things that most Tigers fans can agree on. And I think they all can also agree on that this roster is not deep offensively or in their bullpen, whether it's because of injuries or just overall what you think. And so, yes, I think the reason why he is still here, this is just how I view it. I don't necessarily know how Scott Harris and the rest of ownership thinks. It was Red Sox firing Alex Cora, by the way. Shout out to Esco on our YouTube chat. Yes. My belief is that, I mean, the Tigers aren't just getting pummeled in these games, right? They're just blowing a lot of these games. It's unbelievable at this point, like the way that they are choosing to lose. Tigers Data on Twitter, who's just been an unbelievable Twitter follow throughout the last couple weeks. The Tigers have lost 21 games that they were leading in at some point this season. No other team has more than 18, and the MLB average is 12. So they have been leading in 21 games that they ended up losing. My only thought...
Isn't that like an AJ Hinch thing?
Sure,
If they were getting pummeled in every game, I would say, yeah, like this is on the roster.
Yeah, the roster just stinks. Okay, that's a good point.
All the small decisions, I feel like that should help out, really good managers. So go ahead, finish your point.
Well, the only thought that I have is they are almost taking the stance that you had a week ago of, hey, once these guys get healthy, we're going to be deeper, and then AJ Hinch is going to finally be able to show, that he is a good manager. What's he supposed to do with this roster right now? They're just they're barely losing a lot of these games. They're in a lot of them. The starting pitchers are still giving them solid outings every time out. They still have McGonigal and Riley Green. Like, it's all 100% still optimism right now, where it obviously shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. Right? We are through May now, and some of these,
it's over.
It's over. And
you don't get to go 4-21 in your last 25 games at any point in the season.
They've lost 8 straight series. I mean, it's unbelievable. And even like
you don't get to do that and still have hope.
They went 6-22 in May, and there's only been 4 other teams in the last 10 years to have a worse May record. Those were the 2025 Rockies, who went 4-24 in May. They finished with 43 wins. The 2023 Athletics, they won 6 games in May as well, just like the Tigers. They finished with 50 wins. And then in 2021, both the Diamondbacks and Orioles were worse in May. They each finished with 52 wins. AKA, all 3 of them were the worst teams in baseball.
Yeah,
by the end of the year.
Not a 70-win disappointing team, not a 60. Just a truly one-of-one horrific season, and that's the path that the Tigers are going down.
You could look at that and say, oh, well, yeah, but none of those teams had expectations. Okay, yeah, that makes this Tigers version even worse then.
Yeah, that's why I say the thing with the Lions, like last year the Lions had the most disappointing season maybe across the league with teams that didn't suffer from quarterback injuries like the Chiefs and the Ravens. But when it comes to just teams that were just disappointing from the jump, yeah, the Lions were no. It's not this. This is way worse than what happened last year to the Detroit Lions. Tigers might be the worst team. I like at this point, at this rate, they are going to be the worst team in the American League. They are going to have the worst, stats, whatever you want to look at.
Yeah.
This is not a good baseball team whatsoever. By the way, that Tigers Data Twitter account, I'm trying to figure out who runs that. Like, is this like just some guy who's got some crazy database in his basement, or is this like a Tigers
just spending all of his time just looking at ways to show that the Tigers stink this year.
Or is this like an AI? Like all the stats that they're posting on their Twitter are like, how on earth do you even think to start finding this stuff? Where are you looking to find this?
I don't know, because I don't want to find whatever they're finding because it's all bad. That's the issue right now. So, yeah, my only thought as to why he still is the manager, because you're right, it has reached a point where some sort of change does need to be made with the long stretch now of bad baseball. My only thought is they are just still viewing the lens of 100% optimism, and they just can't do that anymore.
989-837-6125. Kyle in Auburn says the Tigers keep losing Cy Young pitchers because the GMs never compliment the Cy Young guys with great hitting. Yes, I knew this would be the end. Yes, I knew this would. Yes, I knew this would end like this. So he's kind of predicting that season. We lost JV when we were bad. Now we will lose Scooble in the exact same way. I'll never support Chris Ilitch and a Chris Ilitch owned team. This is on him. Love that. Just right to the top.
Yeah.
Right to the ownership.
Well, and like Brad and I discussed this last week, but nearly every single player is having like the worst year of their career this year on the Tigers, outside of Riley Green, Kevin McGonigal, Dylan Dingler.
Well, McGonigal can't have the worst year of his career.
Yeah, okay, yes. Like kind of not counting him, but like Riley Green is having probably the best year of his career. Dingler is having a solid season. Outside, like look at Framber Valdez, the guy who they went out and paid money for. Mm-hmm. We can't blame Ilitch or Scott Harris. This guy's having the worst year of his career. Just out of nowhere, playing for Detroit. A lot of the bullpen guys are having the worst year of their. Kenley Jansen's having his worst year in quite some time. All these hitters, I mean, they have 4 guys with a sub 500 OPS right now.
But here's the thing about that. If everyone is having the worst year of his career, the issues lie deeper than just, oh, that's a weird coincidence. If everyone across the board is having significantly down seasons compared to their average, even the guys that came in from external signings like Framber Valdez, I think that pretty much screams there are some deep organizational issues, whether it's inside the clubhouse, front office, who knows where it actually stems from. I think a lot of people would say, well, it always stems from ownership, and that very well could be true considering, some of the things that have happened in that front office the last couple of years that we don't need to talk about, but not a good look on the organization. Some things that have happened down in Toledo, not a good look in the organization from a human aspect. Something is not right with this Tigers team. I don't know whether or not A.J. Hinch is intentionally selling games or not. But the fact that we're bringing it up, the fact that no one's willing to be held accountable, the fact that everyone's having season lows tells me there is something deeply rooted. There is a deeply rooted issue within this organization right now that is yet to be uncovered. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We are live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll be taking texts the rest of the day on A.J. Hinch and the Detroit Tigers. Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in. Happy Monday, everybody. Let's make sure we're all staying up to date on what's going on, what happened this weekend. Here's Kyle Sandel with the news.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
All right, Ben, we got a lot to go over. Busy weekend of sports. Let's talk about what we've all been wanting to talk about all day long today. The Spurs.
Yes.
The Spurs are headed to the NBA Finals in a pretty awesome Game 7. They defeat OKC. It's once again going to be a new champion in the NBA for an 8th straight season. A new champion, or no back-to-back champion, you could say. And it's once again no time that a team has made it to back-to-back finals in the last 8 years as well. So pretty crazy that the NBA has had this level of parity. It's what Adam Silver has wanted, and this finals is what Adam Silver has wanted as well.
I know we all said last year that parity thing was going to come to an end because of OKC. Can I just throw... I think it's going to happen eventually. A team that goes to the finals 2 straight years with this Spurs team. 22 years old Wemby, 22 years old Castle. Harper's either 20 or 21. I don't know off the top of my head how old he is. This is just like what we have going forward, right? Wemby's only going to get bigger, faster, stronger. Same with Castle. Same with Harper, the way that these guys are going to gain the experience.
Yeah.
Like, I'm horrified for the rest of the league.
I think so, but we also just said the same thing last year. I think we just reached a point where we're going to do this every year, and it's just not really going to happen.
I do think that we have...
There's enough dispersed talent in the way that the CBA is now split up in the NBA where teams just won't three-peat.
Sure. I also think that, they're going to have to wait another 2 years to pay Castle. They're going to have to wait another 3 years to pay Harper. Like, they've got so many years ahead of them.
Yeah.
I do think that we will see many more Western Conference Finals between the Spurs and the Thunder. Like, this 100%. Is only the first time that they're playing each other of many times throughout the rest of, the decade, next 10 years. Either way, God, man, I think we can officially say Wemby's the best player in the league, right? Is that even debatable at this point?
We kind of, it's certainly debatable, yes, but I think we kind of have to say that now, right, after he beat Shea. I mean, Shea was great, by the way. Like, Shea in that Game 7 was awesome, man. He was making some unbelievable shots, and really no one else on OKC outside of, like, McCain really came to play in that Game 7.
Yeah, the MVP case for Shea actually, I think, took a step up. Like, it got even better after seeing, Chet's implosion. He wanted nothing to do with Victor Wembanyama.
Right. Losing J-Dub and A.J. Mitchell, it's like they really have no other guys that can initiate offense outside of Shea.
And yet they were still in there right at the very end. Really just because of Shea. And defense was really good on both ends for both teams. In that Game 7, it felt like there was just a forced turnover every other possession, but not because it was sloppy offense, just because there's so much physicality defensively, which you would think would favor OKC, and then it just... I can't believe what we're watching with this. This is... The only comparison I have for what we're watching with Wemby right now is watching Magic Johnson go to the finals as a rookie. He was a little bit younger, and I know people are like, well, what about Duncan going as a 22-year-old for the same franchise? Like, yeah, that's a good comparison, too, but he also
in 99 as well.
In 99. He also got drafted into a very good organization. It's the same with Wemby, but like, this is all because of Wemby, right? At least Tim Duncan had
sure, but let's not act like this is just a
know?
Wemby, like LeBron type of carry to the finals run. I mean, that team is really good. Their team is awesome.
The team's incredible, but it's all centered around,
of course,
the center, which I've got some Wemby stats for you later in terms of the blocks that he's getting, the defensive stuff. There's so much stuff that we can't even quantify with the effect he has on the defensive side of the ball. You watch OKC drive to the paint, they're not even looking at the rim, dude. It's like their mission is not even to put the ball in the cup. Their mission's like, well, now that I'm here, let's try to move the ball this way to get Wemby over here. He wrecks teams' offenses, and it is such a fun team to watch because those guards are also so unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, them being, all three of them being this ahead of schedule is so unheard of. I mean, Harper hitting those shots at the end of the game. De'Aaron Fox, who is making $50 million next season, did not close because Dylan Harper was playing too good. And
this is his first time in the playoffs.
Fox was playing fine. Like, Fox had a fine game.
And it's his first playoff run. Like, that's the crazy
Game
part.
7, Western Conference Finals on the road.
A rookie. And I think that's all centered around A, Spurs culture, but B, Wemby culture, because I think those two things are like the exact same wavelength. Yeah. That dude's reaction after winning, I mean, you would have thought they won the finals, and I think a lot of people would maybe make the case that was a little cheesy. But I also didn't see that at all, to be honest. I don't really think
people feel that way.
It is such raw emotion from this guy. You can tell he wants it.
It's cool to care about that, you know?
That's right. It is cool to care. And he certainly cares more than anybody else in the league that I have laid my eyes on, especially for a 22-year-old. It's such a fun watch. And it's funny that everyone just across the nation was just like, yeah, screw this team.
I think even the Knicks were excited about it, and they probably would have rather played the Thunder without J-Dub and Mitchell.
Yeah, probably.
But how can you not root for that Spurs team? Like, they're just so young, they're so likable, they're so fun.
I was scared watching it. Dream, by the way.
Yes, it really is. The next star versus the biggest market, and it's their first finals in 20-some years. And
I don't know what's the bigger storyline, honestly. Like, that's tough because these are two major, not just. I mean, last year with OKC and the Pacers, like, you're a little bit grasping at straws for storylines with really small markets. You know, you have this team that's like...
And it was OKC's first finals as a group, too. It's not like you could do the back-to-back thing.
It's not like they're a very marketable team either. Like, people like Shea. Like, this is different. Wemby is, at 22 years old, a household name. Like, everybody knows who Wemby is. You know what I mean? It's not like he's just some basketball
You think he's
player.
there already?
I think he's getting there right now.
I don't know. I don't think my mom knows who Wembanyama is.
Text her. I want to see what she says.
Okay.
But we also have the New York Knicks, the most famous franchise in all of sports other than maybe the Yankees. Like, this is a great finals from a marketability standpoint.
100% is. Right now, Spurs minus 205 to take the finals. Knicks plus 172. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a little longer than I would have guessed for the Knicks.
I kind of think the Knicks can for sure win.
I do too. I mean, I told you, I think after Game 3 of the conference finals for the Knicks, it became pretty clear to me that this team had hit that final level that very few teams are able to hit. Like, one team a year is able to hit it. Maybe there's a second team that's able to hit it, but that championship pedigree knows what it takes to win. I know they haven't had a title, but I feel like they've hit that gear where it's like, we are all on the same page. Yeah. Every single one of us is connected in our minds. Like, they reach that stage, and it's the hardest thing to do there in basketball.
And
so I think this is going to be fun.
It's also just like what it took for the Spurs to win.
Yes.
I mean, look at the way that they reacted. It's because of how difficult it was. Whereas the Knicks have been chilling at home for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's going to be really tough. My biggest
first 40 ball from Wemby in the Garden in the finals. I think we're due for one crazy Wemby.
I think my favorite outcome. I'm not making a prediction yet. Probably will do that on Wednesday. But my favorite outcome would be Spurs in 6. They close it out at MSG.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be the most fun scenario. But yeah, my biggest takeaway from this weekend, though, of that Spurs Thunder game was, one, the Cornette block or the LeBron block, which one is better? And then secondly, the Pistons are for sure not getting Trey Murphy.
Oh, because OKC is going to go all in.
He's just the perfect guy for them to go get now. Like, he already was, but now that they actually lost, he 100% is the perfect guy for them to go get.
Also, by the way, just a little side note for Pistons fans. Notice what the Thunder aren't doing right now. They're not dangling Chet from the trade block, demanding that he has to be off the team.
Are you sure they're not? I think their fans might be. Just the same way the Pistons fans are.
I think they understand, though, that Chet's only going to get better. Like, really bad series for Chet.
Is he, though? Because
Wemby owns that guy mentally. Like, owns all the real estate in his brain.
It's different than the Duren situation, though. Chet won the NBA Finals last year as a really good player in the entirety of the playoffs.
Which is what makes this even stranger.
That's what I'm saying. It's strange enough where you're like, I can't just say, oh, it's fine. Whereas the Duren thing, you could just be like, yeah, he's going to get better. Like, it was his first year playing as a star. The Chet thing is more bizarre for sure. We'll do one more thing here in the news, and then we'll save the rest for later. Let's look at the Covenant Healthcare injury report. Kerry Carpenter returned to the Tigers yesterday, which was pretty good news, and we got some other good injury news as far as the rehabs come for the Tigers. Gleyber Torres started a rehab with Toledo this weekend. He continues to be there throughout early this week. And Justin Verlander is getting a rehab start for the Mud Hens tomorrow. So some positivity coming for the Tigers in what has been a extremely negative last 30 days.
Wait, Kerry Carpenter played yesterday, right? So what he doing is 4 at-bats.
Oh, no, he got pinch hit.
For
Jemai Jones.
who has a less than 500 OPS.
Yep.
Way to go, AJ Hinch. 989-837-6125. Ace Hardware and Sports, locally owned and proudly family operated. Right downtown Midland. They're your go-to spot as we gear up for summer. Stop in on East Main Street in the heart of downtown Midland. Ace Hardware helping you get ready for the season ahead while supporting your community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, let's do a couple stocks here on a Monday nearing up on the 10 o'clock hour.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
The stock market.
The show goes on.
All right, stock number one, AJ Hinch. It's obviously very low right now, so theoretically could be a pretty big time to buy. The only way I would buy is if I knew he was going to end up on a different team. I think his managing career with the Tigers, his tenure with the Tigers, I don't know if this gets better. I really don't. This seems like the season from hell, and I'm not sure he's going to be back for another season.
Yeah, I think this is one that you just kind of have to let slide. If you have some AJ Hinch stock, it's just kind of a tough spot to be in.
Chet Holmgren, we talked about this in the last segment. Stock's at a pretty low value right now. You willing to buy some?
100% I'm willing to buy some. I still think that Chet is a really good player. I mean, coming into this, not even just into this entire series, but into Game 7, I still was like, okay, Chet is, I mean, he's clearly their most second important player at the moment. Now, did he play like it? Of course not. But once that contract kicks in for Chet this upcoming season, then people might start to view him in a different lens. He was a runner-up for Depoy this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's still an unbelievable player. So something about the Wemby matchup clearly is not for him. And
I mean,
I would
once
obviously
he got
buy his
posterized early on in that game, it felt like there was no really coming back from that. And for him, there wasn't at all. That was a nasty poster, man. Those dunks where Wemby doesn't even really jump. He kind of just catches it way up high and throws it down because his arms are above the rim already. Those are about as nasty of dunks that you can really have.
Now, I do think OKC might have to shift the way that they play with Chet. I don't know about running him next to another big. That clearly was gross minutes for them offensively at the end of that series.
Or how about this? Hey, Chet, here's a weight room. How about you hang out in here this summer? Put on some LBs.
What about Wemby? He's the same way. They're both just as skinny.
I'm with you that Wemby needs to put on a couple pounds eventually. It might not matter for him, but with Chet, I think he gets bullied by Wemby down low, not just verticality-wise, but from a size standpoint. I don't think Chet's strong enough to hang down there with him.
I would still buy his stock, though. Are you in the same boat?
Yeah, I am. Kyle, you and I were both on these this weekend. Bachelor trips.
I wasn't on a bachelor trip, but sure.
Oh, golf trip.
Correct.
I totally thought you were on a bachelor trip. So I wrote down bachelor trips. I'd never been on one before. That was awesome. And I don't think I'm breaking news here. I would buy stock on that. That is awesome. Yep. Just a weekend away with the dudes.
Buy stock on the most awesome thing in the world.
I didn't know. I had no idea how great these can be.
No girlfriends, no wives, just hanging out with the boys, playing golf, drinking. That's something I would buy stock on too, I think.
I had a fantastic time.
They are the best thing ever. I went on one last summer. It was great. I have another one later this summer. Just had a golf trip this weekend, though, and it was just as fun. It basically felt like a bachelor trip, just nobody's getting married. So.
Yeah. Just an invitational,
Yeah.
Have some fun. Isaac Tesla. I don't know if you saw this, but Lions posted up some highlights about OTAs. Those routes looking a little crispy. A lot of the beat writers saying he had a pretty good day in OTAs, the days they were able to watch, snagging in some one-hand catches. Hands are like magnets to the football. Are you willing to buy stock that Isaac Tesla in year 3 or in year 2 as wide receiver 3 and maybe even weapon 4? But who knows? Who knows how healthy Sam Laporta is? Are you willing to buy stock that Isaac Tesla can have an even more productive year than his rookie season in which he had 6 touchdowns?
What would be your definition of more productive? If he just had more catches and yards but not as many touchdowns, how much weight do the touchdowns hold?
So he had 6 last year. If he can have 4 or 5 this year, but all the yards and receptions numbers are way up and he's just way more of a game in, game out part of this team, then I think that counts as a more productive season.
Because I assume the snap count is just automatically going to go up this year anyways, and just the routes run, like all of that is going to get an auto boost on its own. So you would assume everything goes up. If I'm buying stock on just him to have a better productive season, then yeah. I just think last year we went crazy with the Tesla stock in the summer.
Yeah, we did.
Whereas I'm a little hesitant to do it again this year. Not saying I don't believe him in or anything.
And then it was ultimately a little disappointing for the first 8 weeks, even though he had a touchdown in that opener.
I'm trying to remember where I saw this, but I saw somebody within the last week with a Tesla jersey, and it was a black one.
I mean,
and
around here, that makes sense in this state.
But I was just like, I've never seen the Tesla jersey. I thought it was kind of crazy.
I bet you Meyer loves selling that. That's probably their most bought thing in their stores, the Tesla jerseys or jerseys.
It's a jersey, yeah.
With Tesla, by the way, last year we thought there was going to be this tremendous amount of hype, and then we were a little bit disappointed. Do you remember the stat that was yards per route run? Even though he had the 6 touchdowns and had some crazy highlight catches, his yards per route run were about the worst in all of the NFL. It was like him and one other player were at the bottom. He just wasn't a very productive player on a down-to-down basis. That's what I think is going to be
like he just didn't
better.
get down the field, you're saying?
Every time he ran a yard, it was like ran a route. Odds are he wasn't getting the ball, and odds are he just wasn't getting the ball a lot. Is what that stat tells me. He's out there doing cardio more than any other receiver, even though he had those 6 crazy catches.
Which I
think he's more of a productive player this year.
He is a highlight reel type of player. Pizza Man in the YouTube chat says, as soon as he drops a few balls, you all will want him traded.
I mean, you can say that about anybody, though.
Yeah, as soon as the Tigers lose a few games, we want A.J. Hinch fired.
I got one more Lions one for you. Ennis Rakestraw.
No,
you're out.
No.
Done.
There could be a highlight reel put out in front of us that he is like picked off every single pass that has been thrown his way. And I still would not just be like, yeah, let's go, because you know what? It doesn't include the injury history. So I'm out on any Ennis Rakestraw hype.
I was
selling everything.
A big fan of Dan Campbell at the OTAs, essentially like, yeah, I'm not doing hype for anybody this year. Like, we are doing a pajama party today. We're not even in pads. I'm not hyping up anybody. It's just not worth it. Oh, Dan, how's Levi doing? He's doing fine. How's Laporta and Branch and Kirby Joseph doing? They're getting better. Just like very much to the point, because you remember last year it was like, oh yeah, we think J-Mo's going to be an incredible part of this offense. We think Levi's going to bounce back in a big way.
John Morton was being like the biggest, I don't even know, instigator. Just so much propaganda that happened in the offseason with him.
That's true.
To J-Mo, Tesla, Gibbs. We're doing 2 running backs. We're doing 2 quarterbacks. We're doing 4. Like, he was just saying everything.
Yeah, anything to make the fans say, oh, I think J-Mo's going to have an even bigger season this year. Oh, I think we're going to, we got a lot of weapons in the backfield. Let's use them all. Yeah, that is right. That is a John Morton thing. And this year it is no hype. They're not giving out flowers to anybody at this time, which I think is probably a good thing considering how last season went. You got to go earn the flowers rather than be given to them in the spring. But I think I've made my stance on the Lions pretty clear. I think this is a team that's in a prime position to bounce back. And after all the stories you were reading about OTAs this past weekend, after the quotes from Dan Campbell, after the observations from the beat writers, it really does feel like the energy inside of Allen Park this year is a little bit different, and they are very well aware that they've got to go earn everything that's in front of them this season. Whereas last year, I think they got a little ahead of themselves and took things for granted, thinking that they were always going to be in that position to make the playoffs.
It's fair to have that mindset, but also I think that they kind of displayed their current mindset even when the schedule release video dropped, right?
Yeah, that was, probably the worst schedule release video in the league.
100%, maybe ever.
Maybe ever. Because there was a date wrong in there, too. Did you see that?
Actually, no,
when
I
Dan
missed
Campbell
that.
hung the thumbtack, one of the dates was just wrong. So, yeah, I think we can chalk it up to the worst schedule release video ever. The Lions typically have a pretty good social media team, though. So, yeah, I think they're just a lot more locked into business right now rather than getting everyone all excited for the season. All right, that's it for the Stock Exchange. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. If you're looking for financial advice that actually makes sense, Doug Cellini of Kingsview Partners right here in Midland is for you. Former teacher and coach, Doug breaks down all the complicated stuff and makes it understandable for people like you and I. Helps families and professionals build clear game plans with their money so you can move forward with confidence and not confusion. That's Doug Cellini, Kingsview Partners, right here in Midland. And this right here is the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt. We will get to more Mitt messages regarding A.J. Hinch when we come back here on The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
.416 and 454. That is A.J. Hinch's record as the Detroit Tigers manager. There's been a lot of bad with the Tigers this year. Yesterday may have been the number one example of, hey, A.J., what's going on? What's going on this year, man? Do you even want to be out there? Pulling Kiner Montero after 65 pitches, where he'd only given up 2 hits, to put in Drew Anderson, who has A.J. Hinch's justification for it was, he's been great against the lefties this year. No, he hasn't. He just hasn't been total dog water like he has against the righties. And by the way, Kiner Montero's numbers against the lefties have also been identical to what Drew Anderson's were. And Drew Anderson comes in for the second consecutive day, gives up a home run. It's kind of his whole shtick at this point. And A.J. Hinch stood by his decision. And it's like, hey, man, do you even want to be here anymore? Because if you don't, let us know. We'll move on. So I'm starting to make the case. I brought it up maybe a week and a half ago. I don't know if A.J. Hinch is the right guy to be leading this team. Now I'm kind of feeling like A.J. Hinch doesn't even want to be here. So I ask the Tigers fans of our listeners, should A.J. Hinch be fired? 989-837-6125. Kyle, do you have an opening statement, or should I just get right into the messages?
Go for it.
Okay. Should A.J. Hinch be fired? Paul says, remember when starting pitchers were allowed to pitch complete games? Jack Morris did 175 times. Those games he had 28 shutouts in 18 season. Nolan Ryan did it twice. How did they have so much better conditioning back then? I guess he's referring to yesterday's game. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're just really precautionary about pitchers' arms these days, considering everybody has Tommy John at least once. Chris says, no, he should not be fired, but if he leaves, he'll win a World Series with the next team he's with. Yeah, that's the thing. I still think A.J. Hinch is a pretty good manager when he has the right pieces attached to him. When he has a talented roster, I don't know if anybody gets the most out of their players than A.J. Hinch. We've seen that with the Tigers. We've seen A.J. Hinch be 3 chess moves ahead of the other team's manager and put the Tigers in a position to where he single-handedly wins games. We saw it at the end of 24. More than I've ever seen a manager have an imprint on a game. We're not getting that version of A.J. Hinch this year is the problem. And I don't know what the reason is behind that other than I don't really want to coach or manage this team anymore. It's the best I got.
I mean, if you feel that way, then clearly you don't think A.J. Hinch should be fired then. Then it's a roster construction standpoint, and it's Scott Harris's fault and Chris Ilitch's fault rather than him, right? If you feel that if there was a good team in front of him, he would be a great manager still, then clearly this isn't his fault because look at the team that's being put out on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, but that's not the team that the Tigers have right now, you know?
Yeah, that's what I just said. The team that they're putting out right now is a bad team. Is that A.J. Hinch's fault?
No, but also he's not making his case any better by some like pinch hitting Kerry Carpenter for Jahmai Jones. It works last year. It's not working this year. Why do you have to continue to do it? Riley Green in the 5-hole. Dude, you got bullied out of doing that again. You legit got bullied out of doing it after an interviewer pressed you about it. So I don't like it doesn't feel like he is making all those X's and O's decisions that he's typically doing that are working out. We're not get like it feels like he is checked out, similar to the way that Monty Williams was checked out when he was the Pistons coach. I'm getting exact same vibes between these two guys right now. Tyler says, as a Cleveland fan, I hope they keep him forever. That may be the best test that you got. If the other team's fans want you to keep the manager, I don't know if there's a single better test to just kind of throw out there to see if whether or not you should keep somebody around.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Cleveland has the upper hand anyways, they have had it for a while over the Tigers, so coming off a 4-game sweep, they probably feel pretty good about that, sure. I could care less about what a Cleveland fan has to say.
Anthony says, well, it's kind of like how the Lions fans are like, no, keep Matt LaFleur around forever. Hope he's the Green Bay coach forever.
We really can't say that, right? Dude beat him twice last year.
Anthony says it's not A.J. Hinch's fault that there's 15 different players on the IL. It's not. But this also like stems back to the thing we kind of touched around earlier on in the show. Like, is there a deeper organizational issue if every single player, including the free agents that you brought in externally, are having career worse seasons? Like there's something to that to where I'm not sure it's been uncovered yet in what that deeply rooted issue is. But we've had some front office HR problems over the last couple of years with the Tigers. We've had a firing of a AAA manager because of some comments that were not work appropriate. And now, it's potential. Like, again, I'm not reporting anything. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. There's been so many deeply rooted issues within the organization that I do wonder if it's starting to seep into the clubhouse in a way that it is affecting players' play, and no one is able to pull them out of it, and they're not able to overcome it. And it feels like right now from top, bottom, ownership, minor leagues, it's just everyone is having a really tough season if you are branded with the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, 100%. It's never been more obvious that this is clearly an organizational issue, and it's something that probably needs to be changed from a higher-up standpoint rather than – and I know you've made the case that, well, Scott Harris deserves to see Max Clark and Jose Briseño, play before we decide the fate of his future. Does he?
I don't think Scott Harris
Does that make up for everyone being terrible this season?
No, I also don't think like the one player we've seen Scott Harris truly. I don't consider once they get to the majors. I don't know if it's a Scott Harris thing or not. I think as the players come up through the minors and the decisions that Scott Harris has to make about where they're playing, how long they're playing, what they need, what they're getting, that is Scott Harris. Once they get to the bigs, it's kind of like, well, I hope that.
Yeah, but
works.
if they work out, then he gets a plus for it, and if they don't, then he gets a thumbs down for it, right?
Sure, and right now he's 1 for 1, correct?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I when I say the deeply rooted issues, though, I'm thinking like beyond Scott Harris.
Yeah, but that stuff's not getting changed. That you can't do anything about that. Correct?
Us as fans, no, we can't.
No,
can't
in
really do
general.
anything about that.
Chris Ilitch is just going to get fired? That can't happen.
No, but we also thought this about the Pistons for the longest time until Tom Gores was like, you know what? I'm just ripping it. Like I'll eat the $50 or the $70 million or whatever it was with Monty Williams. Make sure I hire the right people so I can be less involved. So yeah, maybe it is a little bit more of a Scott Harris thing. They need some sort of organizational leadership, and it feels like right now they don't have that in any department. Tom is saying no, he's playing with the worst team he was given. Can only cook with the ingredients provided to you. Rob says, I say no, don't fire Hinch. You keep him and let him bite the injury bug. Question for who are you going to replace AJ with that's a better manager? So I didn't come up with this. I'll give our guy Chris Castellani a little bit of credit. I saw him talk about Don Kelly. That got me interested.
I mean, does he want to leave the Pirates?
Come home? Come back to the D?
Pirates are having a good year, man.
And then they're going to be like, we're not extending you, sorry.
Hey, we're trading Skeens.
No different than here. Charlie says, no, Scott Harris should be fired for not signing any bats during this offseason. I don't think that's a crazy stance to take. We did get a text that says, what happens first? AJ Hinch fired or Tarek Skubal gone? See, this would be a good line. I would say,
I don't know. I think there's an obvious answer here.
Is there? Team that just won 4 out of their last 25 games?
Sure. I mean, that is a good point because the AJ Hinch thing could really happen at any point. We don't really know. It could never happen, or it could happen like tomorrow.
Right.
So,
like if AJ Hinch if they lose another series and get swept coming up here to, what, I got the Blue Jays this weekend?
They play the Rays.
The Rays,
today.
that's who it is. If they lose another series here, and then let's say they lose this series against Seattle this weekend as well, I'm not going to be all that shocked if AJ Hinch just doesn't make it another week. Like, this just can't continue to happen. That would be 10 straight series losses.
Right.
Anything's on the table at that point. So I would set those odds at about...
I mean, it's just how long... It's basically just, do you think Hinch is going to be here or not? Because if Skubal is traded, it will be on July 30th or 31st.
We also could just think Skubal's not going to get traded, but at this point...
No, he is. Ken Rosenthal... I was going to mention this. Ken Rosenthal put out an article this morning essentially saying Tarek Skubal is going to get traded.
Honestly, Kyle, I think I'd put the odds at Tarek Skubal to be traded first at plus 130 and AJ Hinch to be fired first at minus
really
120. Yeah. And you know I'm a big AJ Hinch supporter, or have been over the last couple of years.
It doesn't sound like it today.
When everyone else has abolished this guy. Yet what's happening right now is just simply unacceptable. And it feels like there's not really any accountability in that clubhouse right now. It's kind of what this texter is saying as well. He says, I've always been a big AJ Hinch fan. I blame Scott Harris for giving him subpar talent. Send Workman, Jones, Perez, and several others down. Bring up some new guys. It just can't get worse than what's going on right now.
Yeah, and I think that kind of balances what is going on right now with the Tigers and the way that the fans are feeling, whereas it is easy to blame AJ Hinch when the miniature moves of pulling Kiter Montero and subbing out Kerry Carpenter for Jahmai Jones are the things that you're watching on your TV while you're so frustrated. And so it's easy to just throw everything on AJ Hinch, where to me, those miniature moves are clearly not the reason why they went 6-22 in May. Yes, they play a factor, but that certainly isn't the reason why this team stinks right now. The number one reason. And so I think it is something higher than AJ Hinch, but it's easy to see what's going on the field and be like, well, Hinch is making all the wrong decisions. That's why.
That can also be true.
So he keeps Kyler Montero in for another inning and we're 22-6 in the month of May. It's just stuff added on to what is already a disaster of a team this season.
It's a frustrated fan base who has reasons to be frustrated, and
100%.
they're going to pick apart the decisions that AJ Hinch has made. Rightfully so, though, because I don't think he's making the right ones very often right now.
I'm with you. I agree.
It's officially golf season, and if you're like me, you're looking for a new place to play, golfers, don't look any further. Apple Mountain in Freeland, where every round comes with a side of scenic perfection. Championship-level course, beautifully maintained, just the right mix of challenge and fun. When you've wrapped up 18, head to the Apple Mountain Restaurant, the perfect place for casual elegance and spectacular views. Whether you're playing for score or just soaking up the atmosphere, Apple Mountain is your place to unwind, recharge, and enjoy the game. That is Apple Mountain in Freeland, minutes away but miles from ordinary. The 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Aired Insurance. They're all about putting you in a better insurance position. Whether it's your home, auto, life, or business coverage, they make sure your protection actually fits your life. If you're looking for a team that takes the guesswork out of insurance, this is it. Be sure to go follow Aired Insurance Group on social media or stay connected and see how they are helping people every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. on 100.9 The Mid.
So after this weekend, after Wembanyama punches his ticket to the NBA Finals, is it an overreaction to say he is the best player in the world in any sport? So like the gap between him and number 2 is a bigger gap between him and any other number 2 or any other number 1 and number 2 in sports. Is he the best pro athlete we have going right now in professional sports at 22 years old, the first unanimous depoy, the youngest depoy of all time, now bringing this Spurs team to a finals, which was basically unprecedented for the team this young to go to the finals up until right now. It was impossible. Yet on the back and arms and 7'9" wingspan of this guy, it's happening. Is he the best player we have in all sports?
No.
Still Ohtani? Is that where you're leaning?
We always just got to go full board, don't we? We can't just say he's the best player in the NBA. We got to go all of sports.
Well, that one's
in
obvious.
a world where Shohei Ohtani exists, no one will ever be. Like, we can talk about all the great things that Wembanyama did this weekend. 100%. Awesome things. Did you see what Shohei Ohtani did on Thursday night?
I did.
6 hitless innings. Oh, and he hit a leadoff home run, by the way.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
I think Wemby is the closest thing we have to Shohei in terms of we'll just never see this again type of guy. I think those two guys kind of levitate above it. Like, Mahomes is great. Josh Allen is great. But in terms of, I actually can't believe what I'm watching. I've never seen anything like this and probably will never see anything like this again. I think it is Wemby and Shohei that are number 1 and number 2.
Shohei and Wemby. Let's get that order correct.
Okay, sure. I think those two guys have a pretty significant, substantial lead over anyone else in terms of that category. I can't believe what I'm watching right now.
I think that's fair. I think up to 2 years ago, until Rory McIlroy won the Masters, won the Masters to complete the Grand Slam, I think Scottie Scheffler had a really good case to be number 2. Like, for how dominant he was and how quickly onto the scene he was of just being that dominant in golf, a sport that takes decades to build your legacy in.
He's the oldest 29-year-old of all time.
For real, exactly.
He looks like he's 43 going on 52.
He looks insanely old. And so I understand, like, not everyone is a golf fan, so it's keeping this to pro major 4 sports here is probably the move. But that to me is one. But yeah, as far as, like, is there a football player? No, because we've had the debate for the last, 4 years in a row now of who the best player in the league is going into the year. Mm-hmm. And I know you have your stance on it, but there's still an argument to be made no matter what.
Yeah.
Whereas there is not that argument to be made in baseball, ever, and it hasn't been in years. And in basketball, I think now is probably for the first time that we are like, okay, Wemby's the best guy in the league, and I don't really know when that's going to end, right?
Yeah.
Like now,
as
like
long as
officially
that guy's
him
healthy.
beating OKC with Shea. Okay, yeah, Wemby's the best guy in the league, and I don't really know when that's getting taken over.
Did you see the debate going around of who would win 5 LeBrons or 5 Wembys? Or was it 5 Jordans versus 5 Wembys?
I did not see this.
I'm not sure Wemby really loses to anybody if there's 5 of him.
Why? Yeah, why would he?
The only person I think you can make any sort of argument for is like 2013 LeBron. Sorry, Jordan. I don't think that's happening. 5 Wembys? How are you supposed to score?
Just run a zone if you're the Wembys on defense.
Right.
Any sort of a zone, you're never losing.
Score?
Pick your favorite type of zone. Run any of them.
I think your point with Scotty's fair just because, like, if you watched golf, you knew how insane it was that you were watching or what it was you were watching, how special it was. But in the case of Wemby, it takes, someone who doesn't like the NBA, you throw on the Spurs and it's just like, just wait until you see this. And their mind is blown by the time the game even has a tip-off because they show him dapping up his teammates as they do the starting lineup. And
right.
It's just like, what is that? Who is this guy? And you're instantly drawn to him because it's just so atypical. The fact that this guy is called an alien and everyone has just agreed he's an alien, I think speaks for itself in terms of this just can't be real. He's so unreal that we have come to the acceptance that he's not from this world. That's how crazy this has been. And in the case of Shohei, it's similar to that, not from a the way he looks standpoint, but wait, he's going to actually go out there and pitch and bat. And in the first inning of a game, when he has a leadoff home run and he shuts out the other team.
And then goes 6 hitless. He went no-hit, 6 no-hit innings.
Yeah. I mean, you'd never go to a baseball game before, and you show up, you just kind of notice that, and you're like, wait, isn't that the guy who just pitched? And it's like, yeah, it is. And this is unheard of and hasn't happened in 100 years.
Yeah. And that's so, like, anybody that is not Shohei Ohtani is just at an unfair advantage here for as, like, the best player in the world goes. I don't really know how long Ohtani's going to hold that title till, but
there's no signs of slowing down.
Exactly. He just is for now. Like, he's somehow ascending as a pitcher right now, while you could say, quote-unquote, descending as a hitter. Mm-hmm. He certainly isn't. He's still just under a 900 OPS on the year. He's just not, like, the best hitter in the league this year like he has been for the last several seasons. So, yeah, and the Scotty thing, I will say, if Scotty wins the U.S. Open this year and completes his Grand Slam in essentially 4 years, when winning his first major, then then the conversation might go back to him, because that would be unbelievable. But with Rory resurging, there's still a debate there to be made as far as who the best golfer in the world is. We did get a good YouTube chat, though.
Sure.
Because I know you're going to like this one. A UFC chat. Nate in the YouTube chat says, only other athlete I can think of is Ilya Topuria, who we're going to see fighting.
Yes, at the White House card. I think he is the best fighter in the world. Not named Alex Pereira. I still think I'd just give that title to Pereira. But the thing with Topuria is, unfortunately, I don't know if he's just like, maybe it'll all change at the White House card. I don't think he's a superstar the same way like a McGregor bursts onto the scenes and it's just like,
he's not.
Holy cow,
he
this guy is
not
a star. He becomes a household name. Like, the UFC hasn't had that guy in a long time since McGregor, really. There's been some guys that have come close, but nobody's ever been McGregor. McGregor was the best fighter in the world for a while and the star. That's what we have with Wemby. That's what we have with Shohei. I like that comparison, like bringing the UFC
from a
into
dominance
this
thing too, because like it's not like Topuria has like shied away from the moment. His last 3 fights have been against 3 like household names as well. So it's like, and now he's fighting in the UFC card. So that's the reason why I think the answer can't be him, because it feels like he's doing everything he can to be like the face of UFC. And is he really?
Who do you think? This might be a stupid question. It probably is. Who do you think is a better global star, bigger global star, Ohtani or Wemby? It's probably Ohtani, right?
100% Ohtani. But like Wemby has, of course,
Wemby in Europe is
the European factor. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Japan worships Shohei Ohtani.
I think that's the appropriate word too.
Right.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, 100%. And like, obviously, the World Baseball Classic, I think, played into that. If Wemby like won the Olympics
gold medal
in the gold medal for Team France, which everyone, by the way, is always like, man, France, I'm scared of France. I'm not scared of France. They have no guards. I'm just saying.
They have
like,
Wemby,
I just see a lot of people saying like, oh, well, I'm so scared of France. They have 0 guards to play.
Well, the U.S. also
Wemby
won't have
and Gobert,
LeBron.
oh, I'm so scared.
Dude, it is hard to score on them. I mean, they took the U.S. to the brink when they had LeBron, Steph, and KD. It took Steph having literal heroics in a game, the moment of his career, to beat a guy like Victor
Serbia
Wembanyama.
also almost beat him first, too.
Yeah, they did. I think
the French team is worse in the next Olympics than they were in that one.
Is the U.S. team not? I think they're significantly worse.
They're so not really though. Like
you're losing Steph and LeBron.
You're
and KD,
still having
man.
a full roster of all NBA caliber players.
Sure,
though.
but now it's going to be a lot of players who have not played in Olympic basketball. Whereas this France team, all of them have played in Olympic basketball, and Wemby's only he's going to be 4 years better than he was the first time around. The rules in Euroball favor a guy like Wembanyama in every way with the goaltending stuff in the no 3-second violation.
Yeah, 100%. Just a huge guy. I will say, like to answer this question of is he the best player in the world of any sport? If he does win the title this year, and then maybe next year, I don't want to just say like he goes back to back. It feels like we're predicting a little bit too far in the future. And then in the Olympics pulls off the gold medal, like just goes on this unreal streak of winning. Then, yeah, he probably has to be.
And by that point, Ohtani, I don't even want to predict any
has won his 4th straight World Series.
and his 7th MVP.
Has won the Cy Young and the MVP in the same year. Yeah,
Can we get a live update on the Ohtani Cy Young?
Oh, it's got to be even better than it was before. I've got it pulled up right here.
Because he's just going to win the MVP.
Ohtani is still okay. He still trails Sanchez and Jacob Mizorowski by quite a bit. Christopher Sanchez, by the way, just went an entire month without allowing an earned run, so that's probably why. Yeah, that's probably why he's got that right now. He's plus 750 to win the Cy Young. So it's probably not going to happen. He doesn't have the innings pitch or the Ks to match with the Miz or Christopher Sanchez. Paul Skeens is also looking pretty good as well.
Wait, time out. The Miz? That's actually a thing now?
Jacob Mizorowski, yeah.
I didn't know that we called him the Miz.
I think some
now.
people be calling him that, yeah.
That nickname's kind of already gone, though. That would be my only critique on that.
I think that's why people call him that, just because it's already a nickname that exists. But still, I mean, he's been like. Did you see the thing that he did the other day? He had like 30 pitches above 100 miles per hour or something in a game. It was unbelievable. Just for another live odds while we're here, Kevin McGonigal plus 110 to win Rookie of the Year. Still a heavy lead on Munetaka Murakami, who got injured in this series this weekend with the Tigers.
Yeah, I was going to say, as much as I would love to say, oh, McGonigal had a great week and jumped himself over Murakami, he wasn't the favorite before Murakami got hurt.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. All right, 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. We'll take a trip around the league when we come back. If you're looking for something fun to do right here in mid-Michigan, Go Great Lakes has you covered, from festivals, live music to outdoor adventures, great food, and family-friendly events. GoGreatLakesBay.org is your one-stop guide for the Great Lakes Bay region. Whether it's a weekend plan or a last-minute idea, get out, explore local, and go Great Lakes.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, and we are taking a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
I got good news for you, Kyle. We are 100 days away from the NFL being back into our lives.
We need it, man.
Yeah, with this Tigers team, we need it bad. Real bad. If we can get through the next about 75 days, though, we're going to be golden.
Embarrassing.
100 days, 100 things to know until the NFL season. We'll see how many we can get through.
100 things to know?
100 things to know.
Let's do them all.
Here's the thing. These are split up into different groups on ESPN.
Okay.
I'll give... So you... I'm going to name the groups. You name which one sounds interesting. Just shout, I want to do that one. Okay? 10 off-season nuggets. 10 MVP candidates. 10 bold predictions.
Ooh, 10 bold predictions. Let's start there.
Okay. 10 bold predictions.
10 MVP candidates. Like, I could probably tell you the 10 that they're going to say, you know?
Bold prediction number 1. The Ravens will be the last undefeated team in the NFL. League has many heavyweight bouts early on in the schedule, kickoff games to Super Bowl rematch, but the Ravens don't face a team that made the playoffs last season until November when they play the Bills.
They go 2 months?
2 months without playing an NFL playoff team from a season
Wow.
ago. That's pretty wild, man.
That is pretty wild. Because obviously I would have to know every team's schedule to actually make a real prediction on this. Obviously, the first team that comes to mind is Detroit with their early season schedule.
And
if they're
Buffalo.
able to beat Buffalo, then they have a very easy schedule up until the bye, and they have an early bye, which plays into this.
See, with the Ravens thing, it's semi-misleading because they do play good teams. It's not like they play all the worst teams. Like, they play Indianapolis week 1,
Good
somewhat of a
team.
mystery. They play Dallas week 3, good team. They play Tennessee, who could be frisky. They hope to be frisky.
Maybe good team.
Atlanta could be good team, could be frisky. We'll see. They also play Cincinnati week 7.
Good team.
Good team.
They always play good games against each other as well.
Sure. So I like the bold prediction with that stat, but I think the Lions are another good candidate to be the last team undefeated, like you said.
All right.
Next one, Kyler Murray will win Comeback Player of the Year. I have no real understanding of what this award means. What is Kyler Murray? I guess he was hurt.
He missed
last
like
year.
the whole year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was hurt.
But they kind of just said like, oh yeah, he could come back, but he needs to get another surgery.
Yeah,
Like they clearly just were tanking and didn't want Kyler to come back. So sure, he's like coming back, but he's not like.
I mean, we know who's winning Comeback Player of the Year, right? It's just going to be Mahomes. Off a torn ACL is going to be more impressive off of Kyler's mysterious foot injury that kept him out for
Sure.
probably way too long.
I would assume this is less of a Patrick Mahomes thing and more of a, hey, I think the Vikings are going to surprise a lot of people because people still think the Chiefs are going to be good, right?
That's true.
Similar to a Coach of the Year type of award. With a healthy Kyler Murray, the Vikings are expected to be like not that good. And so if they exceed expectations, maybe there'll be some juice added in to give this to Kyler Murray. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I think this is Mahomes' award to lose. He can't really go out. Like, I mean, if he's an MVP candidate, I guess he'll just probably win this regardless. But someone
Yeah.
else has to go steal this from Mahomes. I think going into the year, he's like plus 115 to win it.
Real quickly, comeback player of the year by season. Like, has there ever been a guy that was clearly a real MVP candidate to win this? Christian McCaffrey, Joe Burrow, Joe Flacco, Geno Smith, Joe Burrow again. He's won this twice. Alex Smith, Ryan Tannehill, Andrew Luck. So, like, Burrow, I guess, but Burrow's only real MVP candidacy was that 2024 year, and his team missed the playoffs, so he obviously wasn't going to win it.
I think there was, I mean, depending on how you feel about the week 17 RB push.
McCaffrey? No.
I mean,
yeah,
it
no, it's
existed. It
no.
existed.
It did, yeah, but, like, it never was real. It's similar to the Burrow push, I feel like, in that year. It was never real. It was just a push. So, he would be clearly the best player to win this by far.
Yeah, I like how in week 17 there's always someone like well, this guy's not going to win MVP, but he deserves some flowers. So then there's like this 2-week, like, should he win MVP?
Yeah, NFL Live or Get Up just leads with like, wait,
why
is Saquon actually the MVP? By the way, Matt Stafford won Comeback Player of the Year in 2011, and he was the MVP of the league 16 years or 15 years later. Just kind of hilarious.
Abdul Carter will record at least 12 sacks. Nah, I don't think so.
Bold prediction. Who even cares about that one?
Mahomes will win his third MVP.
I mean, yeah, this
Brady.
This is a bold prediction for sure. What are the odds for MVP? Is he?
I think he's plus 1,000.
Who should the MVP should have been?
The MVP odds.
He's the 5th odds-on favorite right now.
Yeah, man. I just think that's
Plus 1,000.
in terms of the value.
And Drake may having better odds than Mahomes. I'm with you on that one. That one's kind of crazy.
I'll gladly take a Mahomes ticket at some point this offseason.
Yeah, I think this is a good bold prediction. It's also not that bold though, right?
Anytime you hit a plus 1,000 bet,
sure.
I think it's bold.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Here's a Lions one for you. The Lions will go from worst to first in the NFC North in dominant fashion. Defensive injuries have derailed the Detroit Lions seasons the last 2 years, but this roster, when healthy, is terrific on both sides of the ball. I love that they're throwing that in here from Mike Clay because, man, when the Lions defense is healthy, they have been a top 10 unit in football. They have been. It's been very rare, but they have been in a small sample size. Add in one of the league's easiest schedules, and the Lions are primed for a Super Bowl push.
We're taking the fantasy football guy's opinion, though.
I mean, it's just a blurb.
Sure,
I agree with everything.
No, I do agree. How many times do you think, and this would be something that we'll have to find out at some point in the year if it seems like it's going to happen, where a team has gone from first to last to first?
First to last
in a
to
3-year span.
They didn't do that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I think it's happened probably more than you'd recognize.
Yeah, actually, probably.
Like a really good team,
just has a bad
something
year
terrible happened.
Like the
and then they came
49ers
back.
probably literally did this in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I'm sure that they might have done it twice.
Yeah.
Here's one. Texans will earn a number 1 seed in the AFC and go to their first Super Bowl. You want to talk about bold predictions.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're picking the Super Bowl team. No. I'm out on this. I already said this last week. I think the Texans are missing the playoffs this year.
And this is a big if we got rookie year CJ Stroud with this defense,
yeah,
totally on the table for them to go to a Super Bowl. But we haven't seen rookie year CJ Stroud since his rookie season. And that has been their biggest plague of
with David Montgomery too.
With Demo, yeah. Okay, Jonathan Brooks will end the season as the Panthers' RB1 and clear 900 rushing yards. You know, the guy who
that guy even exists
hasn't played a snap in the NFL.
Yeah,
and has been on the team for 2 years now.
I mean, Rico Dowdle's gone, so it's like Chuba Hubbard. They clearly gave up on him last year at some point. It's going to be there for Brooks, but no. I mean, obviously, he was Bijan Robinson's like other guy at Texas and towards ACL like twice. Yeah.
I can't get there with this.
I think I own him in one of my dynasty leagues, so like that'd be kind of cool if this happened, but certainly not planning on it.
This one's from our guy Dan Orlovsky. The trend of defensive lines dominating the league will continue to be at the forefront. In a league with outstanding quarterback play, the last 2 Super Bowl champs have been won because of their defensive lines were better than anyone else's. And he says that trend will continue. I don't see why not.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Everyone over the last couple of years, like there was obviously the Mahomes high offense era. Then Vic Fangio came in, and that was the counterpunch. Now you got all this too high shell. Then everyone started running the football, and now you've got the great defensive lines to stop that. And right now, the great defensive lines are what are winning Super Bowls. Until I see a count, like what is the counter to that? Short passing game is back.
I think if there was just a team that was clearly their defense wasn't that good and they were just this crazy high-powered offense, like we haven't seen that team win the Super Bowl in a while. If the Rams, like per se, would have won the championship last year, just all offense, then yeah, I think that would have been like a counter to, okay, no, this doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, this one's real bold. Fernando Mendoza will start within the first few weeks. Yeah, I think when you take a quarterback number 1 overall, the expectation, Lindsey Thury.
I mean, What?
I think I'd
The
be shocked
first
if he
overall
wasn't
pick?
starting week 1.
Yeah, make the bold prediction he's not going to start right away.
I know the Raiders have had all this coach talk that,
Cousins.
we want to make sure he earns that starting spot. Like, come on, it's the number 1 overall pick. If it was the 1.02, I'd get it. But when you're drafted 1.01, you're not sitting on
As
the
a
bench,
vet,
man.
too. It's not like he's some project QB.
Yeah, there's no reason. This one's from Matt Bowen, our final one. Caleb Williams will win the MVP. I don't hate it.
I know you don't hate it. Trust me, I knew you were going to say it. So you think Mahomes and Caleb Williams are going to win the MVP?
It's May. I don't have to make my prediction as to who's going to win the award. But if I'm strictly looking at value play on whatever sports book you're looking at, I think Mahomes at plus 1,000 and Caleb at plus 1,500 are your two best bets.
Caleb would have to throw for 4,000 yards.
Which he threw for 3,900 last year. He was
good
68.
enough.
He was 58 yards away from
did that
being
break
the
the
Bears'
Bears?
first. No, it wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't. Do you feel like if they get into a situation in the last month of the season where they think he can do it, Ben Johnson will purposely have him throwing the ball a little bit more than normal so
100%.
he can break it?
I mean, it's like one of the weirder stats in NFL history.
I mean, they did that with Jamal Williams when Ben Johnson
Yeah.
was the offensive coordinator to try to get him the touchdown record, which is still so bizarre to me.
We should just do these for around the league the next 10 days. Just all of the 10 categories.
Guess what the next one is? 10 best bets. It's got you and I written all over it.
And Brandon Sorsby.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Too soon.
Oh.
989-837-6125. The Greater Midland Community Center is your hub for health, wellness, and fun right here in the heart of Midland. From fitness classes, open gym, swimming, youth sports, family activities, basketball, there's something for everybody. Affordable memberships, expert staff, and a welcoming space for all ages and abilities. If you're hosting an event, ask about their rental spaces and full-service event support. Stay active, stay connected, all under one roof at the Greater Midland Community Center. Learn more or sign up at greatermidland.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
Who's on the hotter seat in the Tigers organization? Is it AJ Hinch or is it Scott Harris? Scott Harris, you can point to a lot of different things. Didn't bring in a bat. Has only developed one singular player that has reached the big leagues, and that is Kevin McGonigal. Let's take a look at the pitching staff that's coming up through the minors. Oh, look, there's nobody. Let's take a look at the pitchers that he's brought in. Frommer's been fine, but he's having a down year compared to him. Kenta Maeda, that's a Scott Harris guy. Alex Cobb, that's a Scott Harris guy. Justin Verlander, that is a Scott Harris guy. Jack Flaherty, that's a Scott Harris guy. Hasn't been a lot of successful free agent signings on the bullpen so far for Scott Harris, or on the bump for Scott Harris, nor has there been a ton of bats in volume or in quantity. Gleyber Torres really being the only lone example in that department. So there's reasons to be upset with Scott Harris. I think there's also reasons to be upset with AJ Hinch. Yesterday was a perfect example. Pulls Cutter Montero 65 pitches after having only 2 hits. I genuinely can't come up with a reason as to why to do that. You bring in a way worse pitcher in Drew Anderson, someone who struggled mightily this year, and it backfires on you immediately by him giving up a home run and you blowing the lead again. Tigers have had a ton of close losses in this losing streak in which they went 4-25 in the last, or 4-21 in the last 25 games. There's reasons to be mad at both of these guys, and it has gotten to a point where it has been so bad that I don't think it's, I no longer think it's reactionary to say something's got to change. Somebody's got to be let go, because this just can't be acceptable any longer. And the longer this continues, the more the org is saying this is okay, when in reality it's not. So who's on the hotter seat? Is it Scott Harris or is it AJ Hinch?
I think as far as who is on the hotter seat right now, it's probably AJ Hinch, just because when a team is underperforming as much as the Tigers are, the first person to go is typically the manager, right? It really wouldn't make a lot of sense for the president or the general manager, whatever you want to give the title to Scott Harris, for that person to go and then the manager afterwards. Typically it's in reverse order. So I would say Hinch is on the hotter seat, because from a game-to-game standpoint, more people are blaming AJ Hinch for all the losses than they are blaming Scott Harris, which I don't know if that's the correct response or not, but I feel that is how the seat hotness ranking would go.
I would probably agree with you there. Like, I just think the Hinch stuff on a game-to-game basis, that is what AJ Hinch's job is at the end of the day, whereas Scott Harris's job is big picture. The game-to-game, as of right now, is the worst in the league. It is.
Yeah.
Look at the last 25 games.
The worst month in baseball, yeah.
You don't just luck into or injury. Like, yes, there's been bad injury luck, of course, but you don't just waltz your way, unfortunately, into a 4-25 coincidental month. It's been bad decisions in game for an entire month. We have sniffed this out from the very beginning of the season, where it's like, yeah, some of the X's and O's stuff for AJ Hinch just not really working this year. And, you know, yesterday, taking out Kerry Carpenter in his return for Jahmai Jones, who has less than a 500 OPS. Typically, your lefty crusher has not been that this season. It's just not working, and I don't know why he continues to hit the drum with that. So I think you are right that AJ Hinch is on a little bit hotter of a seat than Scott Harris, but I don't think Scott Harris is just off scot-free right now. I think, you know, what we talked about regarding there not being a single arm in the farm system right now, that's a problem. And we can look at Jackson Jobe. That's not a farm system guy anymore. I know he's hurt and we barely got to see him last year and the year before. It's not a farm system guy, though. And suddenly you look around the rest of the farm system and there's no arms. There's nothing that Scott Harris has to show for in the minor league system that can replenish what they have and what they are losing on the bump potentially this offseason with Casey Mize, Tarek Skubal. You're going to lose some guys, and I don't know who they're replacing them with. Justin Verlander, another guy you're probably going to lose. I don't know why anyone would want him back. And all the arms that they've brought in have not been great additions. I mean, Kenta and Alex Cobb, I can stop right there, and it doesn't really matter what else you've brought in. But then for the fact that there's more bad examples like Verlander, Kenley Johnson, you have to, you know, play the results game at some point. It just hasn't worked out. Nothing he is doing is working out. That's a problem.
And that's the guy who's going to be in charge of the future of your franchise in 2 months. That's the part that scares me the most.
Oh. Plus, he's had some terrible trade deadline execution stuff.
Right.
So do you really want that to be the person that's effectively in charge of the biggest deal that's going to be made in...
It's going to shape their franchise going forward. Like, that's the part that I am fearful of, is if you truly don't believe Scott Harris is the guy going forward in the next era of the Tigers, then he certainly should not be the guy in charge of trading Tarek Skubal and Casey Mize.
Yeah, he's already fumbled one trade deadline when they were sellers, and he wasn't very great when they were buyers either last year when they just bought like a ton of stuff at the flea market. 2 years ago with Flaherty, very well reported on. You sold at 70 cents on the dollar compared to what you could have had because you waited so long to sell him. I don't want that to be mishandled again. So the more we're talking about this, I don't think I want Sky Harris to be in charge of the Tarek Skubal deal, which will inevitably happen now. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on the Mitt. We'll take some Mitt messages when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.
All right, 989-837-6125. We ask the question, is AJ Hinch, is Scott Harris, are they supposed to be out as the Tigers managers and presidents sooner rather than later based on how this month has gone, the month of May, in which they were the worst team in baseball? Kyle, do you want to read the stats again from where you said the other worst teams in May and where they ended up finishing in the total standings?
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I was doing some digging this morning because obviously it was a really bad month. They've lost 8 straight series. They went 6-22 in the month of May. And I found all the teams that had worse months over the last 10 years in general. but there's a lot of them because, there's a lot of really bad teams. And a lot of them happen later in the year as well, which later in the year teams have already, packed it up. It's over. Whereas in May, you're still trying to win. So the 4 teams that have had worse months than 6-22 in May specifically over the last 10 years, the 2025 Colorado Rockies, who went 4-24, they finished 43-119. It was one of the worst months and one of the worst years in recent MLB history. The 23 Athletics, when they were still in Oakland, went 6-23 in the month. They finished 50-112. And then in 2021, both the Diamondbacks and the Orioles were 5-win teams in the month of May. They each finished with 52 wins. So if you had any hope about, they can still bounce back. They play in the division that stinks, right? Their division. That's the only reason why I have hope. Injuries coming back, this and that. No, it's over. It's so over.
Yeah, I think I held on to that as long as I possibly could. The injuries, the division that they played in. This isn't the actual Tigers team. We'll get that later on in the. I held on to that as long as I could, Kyle, but I can't do it anymore. It'd be not fair to our listeners. It'd be not fair to myself to just continue to be like, I don't think it'd be fair to anyone that supports this Tigers team for me to continue to say, I think this team can bounce back. They can't. It's over. And unfortunately, on June 1st, their season's over, which has not been the case in a long time.
Right. And it feels like it even more because even when they did finally get a win in that series against the Angels, it was like, they finally got a win. And there's no sign that shows it's more over than when you do win and yet 2 of your arms go down with injury in that same game.
Man?
Casey
That was
Mize,
crazy.
Kenley Jansen both hit the IL in a game that you won. Like, that's what it takes to get a win now?
That was, Wednesday night? That was terrible. Everything about that game was like, are you serious? Like, we win, and at what cost? A starting pitcher and a closer. The closer had not been good, to be clear, but like, you can't
the starting
lose another
pitcher's
arm.
been awesome. Like, Casey Mize is having another all-star season, if healthy. But he won't be, so he won't make it.
Did he get put on the 10 or 15? Or has he not been put on either yet?
No, he got put on one. I just remembered it seeing IL. I can find it, though.
Yeah, and then, we've talked relentlessly about the in-game adjustments, or not adjustments, but the in-game decisions from A.J. Hinch. They have not been good, like yesterday. Pinch hitting Kerry Carpenter for Jahmai Jones, not a new thing that's happened, but it's like, man, Jahmai Jones isn't bad enough to where this should not continue to happen. Yet it is. Pulling Kiner Montero after 65 pitches. Not acceptable when you put in Drew Anderson, who's just a worse pitcher.
15-day, by the way, for both Casey and Kenley.
Texas says, the worst part about this is that my summer enjoyment of listening to Tigers games every night is already over. Every year my goal is to listen to meaningful baseball games, and that has already been taken away from me. Yep.
Man, this text really hits home. Who sent us this text?
Unnamed texter.
Unnamed texter, man. I'm with you because summertime is the time where you really just get to lock in on your baseball team, whereas during football and basketball, there's always these other stuff going on. And I love listening to the Tigers on the radio. And that just, not anymore. Like, I had the option to do that yesterday. I was driving home. I didn't want to. I didn't want to turn them on. I listened to music instead.
Justin said, what'd you listen to?
Come on.
Iceman?
I think I was listening to Habib T.
Wow. I'm yet to tap into that one, but I am very much all in on Iceman. Justin said he has nothing to work with. Harris should be the one to go first. But also, yes, AJ should be let go because he has made too many moves that have often backfired this season.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of correlating to what Thomas is saying in our YouTube chat. He says, what an embarrassing team. Fire both of them when talking about Harris and Hinch. And that is where I land. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. I don't think it's necessarily on A.J. Hinch as much as it is everyone else. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be fired, but I think if he's going to be fired, you got to fire everybody.
I mean, what else has to happen? Like, you lose 8 straight series.
Right.
What does it have to get to for him to be fired? If they have to lose 10, they have to have another 4-21 stretch. What has to happen for Scott Harris to be fired?
The part about the Skubal trade, and we get the reporting from Ken Rosenthal this morning that it just is more and more likely that the at least the bidding for Tarek Skubal is going to be ramped up, maybe more than we initially thought when the injury happened. Obviously, he still has to return and pitch. Scott Harris is going to be the one making that trade. And if we all are sitting here actually thinking, okay, he's not the future general manager of the Tigers, how can he be? This window for Detroit is clearly already ended, and they have to enter a new chapter that is led by Kevin McGonigal and Max Clark, and whatever they get back for Tarek Skubal. And Scott Harris is going to be in charge of that decision just to get fired in the offseason?
Mm-hmm.
I don't love that idea.
Yeah, I don't think I'm all in on that idea either. Like the more we talk about it, the more I feel like both of these guys should be gone. And with the Harris thing, it's like you also get into a position, especially in the middle of a season like this, you get into a position where you're trying to save your job versus you bring in someone with a fresh approach where it's like, no, I'm just going to do the best thing possible because I know I have a little bit of a window to work with. It's not like, for me personally, there's like this, there's a pressure to win if you take this job sooner rather than later. But when you have a year like this, all of a sudden you start making decisions that maybe are in your own best interest as the GM rather than the team's best interest over the course of a 3-year span. You know?
And like what would be in Scott Harris's best interest to save his job? It certainly wouldn't be trading their best player away, right?
Yeah. That's essentially admitting I failed.
Yeah, and so that's
what's
what
the point of letting him do that?
Because you have to trade him. You have to trade Skubal now. If you don't, it is an organizational failure.
Yeah, what's the point of saying I failed and then he gets fired just for them to then pull the trigger on firing AJ or to fire Scott Harris?
Right. It would have to be something of like hey, we understand the situation that we're in. We're going to keep you if you do make the trade. Like, you have to do what's best. And then they kind of just are like, hey, by the way, I know we promised you this, but see you later. I just don't see them firing Scott Harris in the next month.
That's the thing, but like also what else has to happen? What
Nothing.
would have to happen for Scott Harris to actually be fired? Because I'm with you, like, up until the last weekend, I was like, yeah, it's just not going to happen. They're going to let this thing breathe a little bit longer. It can't be worse than what's happening
It really
now.
can't get worse.
So it probably should just happen now. I don't really want him to be in charge of the Tarek Skubal trade, to be quite honest. So that's where we're at there. Let's get to a couple more messages here. 989-837-6125. Who you think deserves the brunt of this blame for the Detroit Tigers? It's obviously not been great. Scott makes a great point. Hey, didn't they just give AJ Hinch an extension? Yes, they did. But coaching extensions in the grand 2-6 don't always mean a whole lot. You can get out of those pretty easily. It just means you got to pay your guy to just go sit around and do nothing.
I don't think it was some extension that we were like, oh, why'd they give AJ Hinch an extension?
No, I think it made sense at the time. Steve says it's not like in business where the manager does the hiring. Hopefully the owner's smart enough. Never mind. What was I thinking? It's good. Justin says, I don't believe this is a Hinch issue. There's not much talent on this team. They have overachieved, which I say this is a plus for Hinch. He coached up a bunch of nobodies. Outside of Green, McGonigal, and Skubal, who do they have? He must take some of the blame, but the ownership and the front office have not given him much of a team. I agree with most of that, except for the part where you said they've overachieved. They certainly have not overachieved this season.
Yeah, but I think what he's saying is like the reason why, moves weren't made and the reason why we praised AJ Hinch was their overachieving in 2024 and the front part of 2025, which I certainly do agree with.
Raymond says, has blown too many games like yesterday's stupid decisions. It's time for AJ Hinch to go. Kind of with you there. This is just, and then we'll move on. This is a sad one, dude. It's paper bag season. I don't think it's quite there. Because that requires like true years of organizational failure. This would require 2 seasons of that in a row.
Yeah, that was like the Pistons losing 28 games in a row.
Yeah. I don't think they're quite there yet, but they're creeping there.
But like the fact that they are where they are on June 1st, we are sitting here slightly over 2 months into the season, and they are the worst team in baseball. Like that just...
Never in my worst nightmare did I think that was possible. This is worse than worst case scenario I would have figured. If we simulated the season 100 times, this is number 100.
And you watch all these games this weekend, like the way that they lost these games, it's just, it should be shocking. It should be, how did they lose that way? It's they found every single way to lose, but it's not, because it's how this season has gone. Spencer Torkelson and Kyle Finnegan are playing toss-up in the infield, and it scores a wild run, and then they end up giving up the walk-off home run. Like, all of these situations that they find themselves in to lose these games is ridiculous.
Impressive. Life happens fast, and at Yetter Insurance, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yetter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That is Yetter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Kyle, do you remember what the number one thing I wanted to learn at OTAs was going to be for this Detroit Lions team? You remember what the number one thing I was most intrigued by going into it was?
Kirby Joseph?
Kirby Joseph, that's right.
See, I'm a good listener.
Good listener, Kyle Sandel. Was there. Not doing drills. Bad news. He was coaching up the DBs, throwing up those balls for them to go deflect. Not a good sign, though, for Kirby Joseph. I figured, maybe moving around a little bit, able to run some drills, 50% working with the trainers. It sounded like the day that the media was able to attend. We didn't get any of that, unfortunately. That's a gut punch, I was really just looking forward to an optimistic update. And it's May, or I guess it was May. There was no real reason to believe that there's no reason to think that whether or not he's practicing in May was going to determine whether or not he was playing in October. But a nice positive update would have been pretty nice. And we didn't get that from him or Laporta, neither of which were participating. Not too much to read into there, but worth noting, worth throwing out there. Didn't get the positive update.
That's more of it. It's less of like oh no, that's not that big of a deal. It's just like, wow, that would have been a really good sign if Kirby Joseph was suited up or if Sam Laporta was suited up. So you're telling me the Tigers suck and no positive Lions updates. What's next? The Pistons aren't making any moves in the offseason?
Yeah, Trey Murphy has been dealt to OKC. Lauri Markkanen not being traded.
The Pistons' lone move, signed John Collins.
Tobias Harris back 2 years, $48 million.
I was saying, if you would have said 40, I would have been like, that's not that big of a deal. 48, ooh.
Yeah, a little bit higher
Red
of a
Wings,
number.
not doing anything again.
They traded their first round. Oh, wait, they already did that.
How to achieve the worst Detroit sports summer ever. We're 2 for 2 right now.
No practice from Terrion Arnold either, which I thought was somewhat noteworthy. Undisclosed injury from Terrion Arnold, which did allow Ennis Rakestraw to get a little bit of run. Are you more bullish towards the 2025 or 2024 draft class taking a little bit of a leap here? With 2025, it's Isaac Tisla. It is Tyleik Williams. It is
Tate Ratledge.
Tate Ratledge, thank you. 2024, that's like the notoriously bad one. Terrion Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw, Christian Mahogany slated in as a left guard during camp. Which group is more optimistic, or do you have more optimism towards taking a leap forward this season?
I would probably still lean the other way, or to the way of 2025. That 2024 class, we've repeatedly talked about how bad it is and how much it has potentially not set the Lions back, but like
kind of
what spot would they be in right now if Terrion Arnold was good or if Ennis Rakestraw was good? One of the two of them was like a for sure lockdown corner. So yeah, I would probably still say 2025 just because of how bad the 24 options are. Now, for opportunity reasons, Terrion Arnold still has the opportunity to like bring it. And if he becomes a lockdown corner, like how much more can Tate Ratledge do to be, oh, wow, he's an actual star guard? Or how much more can Isaac Tisla do? Like he doesn't really have the opportunity to all of a sudden be like, whoa, Isaac Tisla. Whereas Arnold does have that opportunity.
Well, with you're right. He has the opportunity to take the biggest leap. With Tisla, he has the opportunity to just earn more trust throughout the Tigers
and so does Tyleik Williams,
fans.
and so does Tate Ratledge. I think all three of them have that opportunity. They just don't have enough. They don't have the, I'm going to see the field every single play aspect. Well, Ratledge, of course, is, but
Tyleik, I think, is going to be out there almost every play.
You think so?
I think it's going to be him and Lee McNeil as the two tackles to start the year.
Sure.
Which, by the way, Lee McNeil says he's in the. We already got it. We got our best shape of the year, best shape of their lives story already. It's May.
We knew it was coming. It was just which guy, who was it going to be? Yeah,
and it's Lee McNeil in the best shape of his life.
Which honestly, if you had to do like, who do I want to get that headline for the most? That would probably be one of the guys, right? The big defensive lineman is in the best shape of his career. Okay, that sounds pretty good.
I mean, we had that in 2024 and he was having the best year of his career before he tore his ACL and ended up being out for the remainder of the season.
Now he's even in better shape than then.
That sounds like a good move. Good move for me. I still am going into the Lions season under the impression that there's no one with more pressure placed upon them than Ali McNeill this season, considering the contract, $28 million cap hit, the fact that he was so disappointing last season. That to me is the player and how bad the defensive line was as a whole last year in terms of stopping the run. That to me is the player going into the year that has the most expectation placed upon them. More so than Goff. I think Goff is essentially like, there was a lot of people that were anti-Goff. I think he's silenced most of those people based on how he's played the last 3 years. Amon-Ra and J-Moore are proven commodities at this point. Gibbs, I guess, has to prove that he's like the best running back in the NFL, just not just a top 5 guy. But McNeil's the one where it's like, yeah, man, we're going to need you to take a pretty big leap or else it's going to hurt this defensive line in a big way.
I could probably agree with you on that. I still think Arnold is a good answer for that, but
Arnold didn't get paid. That's
sure,
where I probably
that's a good point. And he hasn't really showed it, whereas McNeil has. Like we know it's in there. Just is it still in there? Is it just something of the past, or is this going to be a contract situation where we're like, man, if they didn't give out the Aleem contract, it'd be a lot easier to pay the rest of these guys.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Already told you the 11 o'clock hour is always presented by Yiter Insurance. But I should tell you that when the seasons change and we're creeping up into summer, Maple Hill Nursery, they're still hard at work for you. They offer professional snow plowing in the winter to keep your driveway clear. That's not something you have to worry about right now. Spring and fall cleanup if you're a little late behind there. Either way, they get your yard looking best year-round. This summer, mowing services. They want to make sure your grass is about as green as it can get, maybe a little bit better than your neighbor's, nicest one on the block. From winter to summer, everything in between, Maple Hill Nursery is your all-season lawn and landscape partner right here in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, let's hit the second rendition of the mid-morning catch. Here's Kyle with the news.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
All right, Ben, let's take a look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. As always, today the 2026 Walk Midland program starts. It's going from June 1st to August 5th. There's going to be 9 different walking locations throughout the week over the next 2 months. If you want to join, it's free. And the first location on Monday nights is tonight at City Forest. It's a 2-mile walk going on. And for each walk, participants will be registered for a grand prize package.
Oh, that's
So, yeah,
great.
if you
I
wanna
wonder
go,
what you get in as a grand prize.
I don't know, but it's free to enter. So if you want to go join a group community in walking, that starts tonight, and it's going on essentially all summer long. Okay, Tigers Rays tonight. They start a series, 6:40. Ty Madden is being activated off the injured list because, of course, he was another guy that got injured. To pitch tonight against Griffin Jacks of the Rays. There hasn't been a corresponding move made yet for the Ty Madden because he obviously hasn't been on the roster. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe Drew Anderson gets DFA'd. That'd be sick. Nonetheless, Tigers Rays kicking off a series tonight.
You know,
Yeah.
this is maybe the first time throughout the year that I'm not looking forward to the Tigers. It's going to feel like something I have to do today for the very first time this season.
I wish they had a day off today.
There's been a lot of baseball games, and I am yet to think to myself, oh man, like this isn't good. I don't want to. This is the first time. I don't want to watch them. They don't deserve my eyeballs or your eyeballs or anyone else's eyeballs after losing 5 of 6 to the Angels and White Sox. Boycott them. My recommendation would be take your Monday off and go do something. It's supposed to be nice outside. Don't watch this team today.
Yeah, it's going to be nice out, man. That's why I'm with you. This weekend, didn't watch a lot of Tigers because I was enjoying the nice weather. So
Bachelor trip.
wasn't, but
Bachelor adjacent trip.
sure. The only good part about this week is, or this 3-game series, you got Ty Madden and Troy Melton pitching, you know, the TM guys. And those are 2 guys you can at least look forward to because they're young pitchers on this roster, sure. The problem is the guy sandwiched between them is Jack Flaherty, who still has yet to get a win.
We still have to watch him pitch this year?
Still has
Really?
yet to get up a win this season, which that kind of leads us into our next thing here in the news. Tanner Bybee is the first Cleveland pitcher to go winless in his first 13 starts in franchise history. Tanner Bybee is yet to pick up a win in 13 starts, brother. Jack Flaherty's joining you on Tuesday. Flaherty's making his 13th start Tuesday. He's also winless. Tanner Bybee, he thinks he's achieving something here. No.
Tanner
no.
Bybee and Terex and Jack Flaherty should find a way to post up for a photo together to really capture the moment and how god awful both of these pitchers have been this season.
You want a real description on how the Tiger season is going? Tanner Bybee, who always kills the Tigers, has no wins this year. Yeah, that's great. We'll give a quick.
Has he pitched against the Tigers?
He did in the one game.
No decision?
Didn't get the win. Yeah. Yeah, because obviously the Tigers didn't beat the Guardians. They got 4 games swept. Let's take a look at the standings. We've been kind of talking about it all day. Haven't really mentioned it. Somehow, for the Tigers, the Royals and Twins are on longer win streaks, or longer losing streaks. The bottom of this division is really separating itself. Cleveland's still in first, 7 games above 500. They are just 1 game up on the White Sox, who have won 5 games in a row. Man, White Sox have been rolling. Of course, they played the Tigers. Cleveland 34-27, Chicago 32-27, and then the Twins are 27-33 on a 5-game losing streak. Royals and Tigers each with 22 wins apiece at the bottom of the Central. Pretty rough.
Being at the bottom of the AL Central, that is rock bottom.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, Tigers wild card race. They're only 7 games out of the wild card, so for one of the few points of the season, their chance of making the playoffs is better through the wild card than it is through the top of the league, because we've been talking about the Central stink so bad. The American League as a whole is just having a disastrous season. Seattle's in first place in the West by just 2 games over 500. There's only 2 teams above 500 in the American League East in the Rays and Yankees. The West is worse than the Central. Yeah, it's just all bad. It's all bad.
Everything's bad. Bad, bad, bad.
More stuff going
like
on.
Young Thug said.
Right. The NBA is bringing back the trophy image and the script logo for the finals courts this week. They already displayed those this morning. It looks exactly how, I always think of the first
Lakers.
series. The first series I really remember watching in my vivid fandom of being a basketball fan was when the Celtics beat the Lakers in 2008 NBA Finals. And
how do you remember? How old were you?
I just vividly remember where I was watching this, and it was just like that. That's the first real core memory I have, was watching them win the finals. I was 7 years old, I think, which is kind of weird.
That's
to think
impressive, because I don't remember anything
vividly
prior
remember
to
like
Miami Bron.
This shot that was hit, I watched it but I just remember like consciously watching that game, like, wow, the Lakers lost.
Right. I remember. I think my first conscious sports memory is Super Bowl 50. No, it wouldn't be 50. Super Bowl. The Roman numerals throw me off. Packers Steelers Super Bowl. And the only thing I remember is when I clogged the toilet at my family friend's house. That's the only thing I remember.
So that's why you remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember anything that happened with the game.
Good
other
thing
than
you
the
don't,
fact
because
that
Aaron
I
Rodgers
didn't want
won.
Green Bay to win.
Yeah.
And I was heartbroken that I clogged the toilet.
Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, that's the
8-year-old
series.
child.
That's the series that it always brings me back to, the NBA Finals logo. So it's the huge trophy that sits behind the logo, and then NBA Finals in script on the side. We remember last year when Adam Silver essentially got bullied into half putting this on the court, but it was only virtually. It wasn't in real life, and it looked really goofy, and the people in arena didn't get to view it either. So it's very cool that this is going to be real, and it's at MSG. So you already have the lore of MSG. Now there's a finals trophy on it. This is going to be unbelievable.
I've got an MSG take for you. I think Timothée Chalamet has officially taken, the baton has already been passed from Spike Lee. Spike Lee's not the most famous
the
Knicks
king
fan
of
anymore.
MSG.
Yeah, it's Timothée Chalamet. I mean, he's on every Instagram post.
Okay,
he's front and center. He's got this super, not model. I don't even know, how would you describe Kylie Jenner?
Supermodel, like you just said.
Is she a supermodel?
Yeah.
She's got
famous
super
supermodel.
famous supermodel. I didn't know if that's what she was actually
Honestly,
famous
yeah,
for these
she's
days.
just famous for just being a Jenner and
He's
a
got the girl.
Kardashian.
He's got the girl.
One of the more famous girls, yes.
He's the guy. He literally was calling Jalen Brunson after they won and got their ticket to the finals. He was on the court with Jalen Brunson, dude, you're the king, bro. You're the king.
When he went up to
chill out,
Bridges
dude.
and he was
You're
like,
older
dude,
than
I
him."
got your jersey. I bought your jersey, bro. Chalamet, you are way more famous than any of these guys.
And older than most of them.
But I think it's cool.
I do too. Hey, remember, it's cool to care.
That's Chalamet's whole thing. I will say, yes, he is the most famous Knicks fan. He is not the number one Knicks fan, though. Spike Lee's whole thing has been being a Knicks fan. So I will still give him the crown of just being the biggest Knicks fan. But Chalamet is certainly the most famous one.
Yeah, for sure.
I do need to watch some First Take this week.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen A. with Knicks in the finals. Woo! That's going to be fun. Hey, the Yankees scored 13 runs in an inning yesterday against the A's. It was the first time they did this in 21 years. And I thought, the Yankees scored 13 runs in one inning. Well, the Tigers in their last 6 games have scored 12 runs.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Yeah, I just had to find a way. I just had to find a way to include that one. Thought it was good.
See, I knew where that was going as soon as you said it, and I was like, God.
Okay, we got some more just random stuff in the news today. The news is getting a little bit off the rails, but this is one that makes more sense. The NFL post-June 1 deadline hits today at 4:01, essentially the flip of the new calendar year for the NFL, a.k.a. A.J. Brown can get traded today after 4 p.m. Will he get traded today? Probably not, but I assume the talks are really going to ramp up, and at some point this week it's going to get serious. I assume he's still going to the Pats, but we haven't heard about this in a while, so we don't know 100%. I would just still assume that this is going to go down.
I think it happens today or tomorrow.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, we've known about this deal for
it just has gone
2
dead.
months?
It's gone dead for like a month.
Well, that's because they haven't been able to. Like, we always knew it was the trade is going to happen after the June 1st thing.
Right.
What else? If they already have the deal decided upon.
What if it just gets agreed upon at 4:01? Would they get some sort of violation?
No, because you technically could have made that trade before. It's not like it's a new league era.
Right.
Like, it's simply.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's
right. They could have made the trade.
With,
yeah.
The finances of it. That's the only reason.
Fair. We also have the Stanley Cup Finals starting tomorrow. It is the Vegas Golden Knights against the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina are the favorites to take this. In Game 1, at least, they are minus 155 favorites. As far as to win the whole thing, though, let me check this because I was only looking at Game 1. To win the Stanley Cup, yeah, Carolina's still minus 155 to win the Cup. That starts off tomorrow. NBA Finals don't start till Wednesday. A couple other weird things going on in the news. Yannick Sinner. I don't know if you saw this. We're talking tennis. The French Open is going on right now.
Dude, I did see this. This is crazy.
He lost in round 2 of the French Open.
Did you see how, though?
Yeah, exactly. But I think just the craziest part is, because I was interested, because Carlos Alcaraz, who is like the big rival of Yannick Sinner, there probably isn't a bigger rivalry head-to-head in individual in sports right now than these two. The last 9 Grand Slam winners, so that's going back over 2 whole years, because there's 4 years, just like golf, have been one of those two. They've taken every single one over the last 9, and now they won't get one at the French Open this year. I just thought that was pretty crazy.
I thought the way he lost was crazy because it's what, best of 7? They play 7 matches, right?
Yes.
And he had won, or is it 5? It might be
I believe it's 7. Anyways.
Whatever it was, he was that many games up, that many matches up, and that many games up to where he had to win one more game, one more singular game. And he lost every game from that point forward and lost the whole thing. He had to have been sick or something, right? This is the same guy who got super hot and was thrown up in the sun.
It's best of 5, by the way. You were right.
Yeah, so he was up 2 matches, 2 games. All he had to do was close the door. It was closed. All he had to do was push it in, and he couldn't do it.
Crazy.
I saw he was minus 50,000 to win in the middle of the match. His live odds were minus 50,000 at one point.
Oh, my gosh.
That's like blowing a 49-0 lead.
He got destroyed in the 4th and 5th set as well. 6-1 in each one.
He had to have gotten hurt.
And he was the biggest favorite ever going into the tournament to win as well. Just because Carlos Alcaraz was not in this. So it was okay, he's obviously going to win. Unbelievable. Ben Shelton, the best American tennis player as well, also was eliminated in the second round. So going to have a newer French Open winner. Last thing in the news, did want to display this because we kind of had been talking about this over the last couple weeks. The Brendan Sorsby situation has gotten even worse. The Cincinnati turned Texas Tech quarterback who was betting, a ton of money over the last several years, has basically, they have taken this to court. He wants to be able to play. He has an attorney defending him that says he should be able to play. And the NCAA is, one, they do not want him to play. The NCAA wants nothing to do with him playing, completely violated their rules. The NCAA statement is that they might become the first major American sports league to allow an athlete who bet on their own games to continue to compete if this court were to grant Brendan Sorsby an injunction allowing him to play for Texas Tech this season. For reference, he bet on Indiana, on the football team when he played for them. In over 40 games of Indiana football, he bet on them. Now, their excuse is, well, one, he never played in any of these games, and now they're taking the stance of he has a mental condition that was making it acceptable for him to bet on. I don't know. They're going the mental condition route, which is tough.
Hey, lock me up too, then, and then lock us all up. I got a mental condition where every time I go to a sporting event, it's
I got to bet on the first guy to score.
Let's make a parlay, baby.
Who's hitting the first shot tonight?
Well, I went to a Rangers game this weekend, and I loaded up the good old FanDuel app. Couldn't do it.
Not in Texas.
Not in Texas.
Not everything's bigger in Texas.
Sports gambling non-existent
No,
in Texas.
Exactly.
I
Way
didn't know.
smaller.
But by the way, that stadium, amazing, great
Ranger
stadium. I obviously, like as every sports nut does, I want to go to every stadium in the majors.
Yeah.
So to be able to check another one off this weekend was cool. It's a really nice indoor venue. Like if you walk in and it feels like Ford Field with how high the ceiling is, it was really cool. I was impressed. Great food.
Who'd they play?
Astros.
Oh, the food. Yeah, I can only imagine how good the food was. Oh, and it was the Battle of Texas, too.
A lot of Astros fans taking over. Got a little bit of a section going with the shirtless crowd. Everybody knew my
Becoming
stance
a
on it,
thing.
and they kind of looked at me like, we going? And I was like,
Yeah. Are we allowed to
No.
go?
no.
All right, I guess that's it for the news.
All right, 989-837-6125. We'll get to our 3 traditions to close out every show when we come back. If you're looking to move, meet Matt Smith, Modern Realty, redefining real estate with a fresh and modern approach. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, Matt Smith delivers personalized service tailored for you, cutting-edge marketing, local expertise, and commitment to making your real estate experience smooth and successful as possible. From cozy starter homes to luxury properties, they know how to find you the perfect fit. Trust the team that combines innovation with real-world know-how. That's Matt Smith, Modern Realty.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on one. on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, we have 3 traditions to close out each and every show. The first of which is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right, well, no baseball, no hockey. No basketball, no hockey. This is the start of the doom era. Summer where we have to pick a prop in baseball every day. I guess we could take run lines too, but this is where we really dug ourselves a hole last year. But hopefully it's different this year. I've hit the lab. I've really assessed, my tactics. I've looked at myself in the mirror. How can I be better? I'm going to hold myself a little more accountable. And you know what? Kyle, May was a pretty good month.
Yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know, Ben. Congratulations. You went up in May. Woo.
Thank you.
Yeah, first time you had done that in quite some time. You went 0.87 units up in May, so just barely. But hey, that's all that matters because you went about 10 units down in April. You went over 5 units down in March. You went over 1 unit down in February. So good job for you today. And you get a fresh, clean slate here today, despite being 13.2 units down in 2026.
13?
Yeah.
What month was bad? What month did I lose it all?
April. You went into April just 3.5 units down.
Oh, wow.
And left April 14 units down.
Well, today I'm going to go with,
yeah,
I know. Today I'm going to go with McGonigal. 2 total bases. Double gets it done in his first at bat. 2 singles gets it done. Griffin Jax is on the mound today for Toronto. Tampa, sorry. A 724 OPS versus lefties. So I have a feeling McGonigal is going to be able to hit the ground running today. And if he's in that leadoff spot, be able to do some damage today, throw some punches. So I'm going to go with McGonigal to have 2 total bases. What do you think? Taylor fade?
Fade.
Okay.
Tigers stink.
All right. Yeah, I don't really have a counter argument to that because you're right. That's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Did I ever say what the odds were for that?
Plus 125.
Some juice.
Yeah.
Real juice.
You've been doing a lot of minus bets too, so don't worry. You still got the NBA Finals to bet on, though.
I know.
For a little chunk here in June.
Okay, let's our next tradition is our game of the day.
Game of the day.
Let's look.
Here's where you actually have to get creative. You've been kind of given layups for this over the last so many times.
They've all been layups.
That's what I'm saying. Now you actually have to think about this.
I'm kind of staring at this Dodgers Diamondbacks game tonight at 9:40. Maybe a little bit too late.
Emmett Sheehan on the mound as well, and former Tiger Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yeah. That's the best game on today. And I mean, Seattle, New York has the markets.
Pretty late, though. It's on pretty late.
There's not really another blockbuster game that's on tonight, though.
Yeah, a lot of teams have the day off.
There's not even another game with 2 teams with winning records on tonight.
There's stuff with soccer going on. I saw Christian Pulisic had a goal, and everybody was happy about that because he went super long without one.
Said the World Cup starts in 2 weeks. That means we'll talk about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about Pulisic hitting a goal, though.
I know you are. I know.
No, I know. I'm pointing at him. What's he complaining about?
Let me know when the actual tournament starts. Let me know when I have to watch the United States, and I'll do it. I'll gladly watch soccer during the World Cup, but I'm not going to sit here and watch these qualifiers that I don't really know what what the qualifications or ramifications for the win or losses. I'm going to go with the lone game where there's 2 500 or better teams playing tonight in baseball. I'll go with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks as our game of the day.
Game of the day.
It sounds like there just is not. This is a good day to not watch sports.
Yeah, it sounds like a good day to go hang outside, read a book, watch a movie, do something.
Go touch grass.
I got 2 words for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must-see TV.
He said play some golf. I mean,
I know he's messing around too. That's the worst part.
I would. All right, that's our game of the day. Last tradition we have is guessing what Colin Cowherd is going to open up his show with. Give me an update. Who's leading? Whose turn is it to go first?
It's tied. 57 apiece. We are tied And it's your turn to go first. Sorry, I had to really think about that one.
Are we resetting this thing when we get to 100?
That's funny you mentioned that. Me and Brad literally were talking about that last week. I think we have to. I don't think the scoreboard allows for me to get to triple digits. It looks like it's only built for 2 numbers. So, yeah, we'll probably have to do that at some point. Episode 249 today, Ben, which, by the way, you know what tomorrow is?
1 year anniversary.
Tomorrow's the 1 year anniversary of the first Ben Bosscher Show, episode 250 as well. So it kind of works out that it's a milestone episode as well. That's pretty fun.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, what
Thanks,
do you pick?
Brad.
Yep.
I will go with...
Gary said pick a Mud Hens game for the game of the day.
They got the loaded lineup. I'll go with the Spurs finals preview. Is that too broad?
Just take it. I don't care.
Yeah, finals preview.
I don't even care. I will go with...
Doesn't even care.
I don't even care.
Doesn't even care.
Serena Williams coming back to professional tennis. I'm going to go with the Thunder blew it. Thunder, something about the Thunder. I don't know.
I'm going to do new face of the league versus New York. It's the best thing that the NBA could have asked for.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious, yeah.
Okay, this is going to do it for us today. We will be back tomorrow. We appreciate you listening today. Hit the notification button live on YouTube so you can get notified when we go live tomorrow at 9. We'll talk to you guys then. See you later.
The Ben Bosscher